White. Wide open Torrence! Oh, baby! Touchdown! How do you leave the best receiver in the NAIA that wide open?
You show, and that's what we do! Cash!
You're proud of me? And it's caught! Oh my goodness! Troy Torrence comes down with it!
Welcome all to Bankroll Blitz right here on Pub Sports Radio. I'm joined alongside by my co-host, Troy Torrence. Troy, for the second time in 3 weeks, we are dealing with adversity. It had been a very glorious season full of cashers and just a lot of calm and bankroll building. And 2 of the last 3 weeks, we are dealing with adversity. It is time for us to bounce back. How are you, my friend?
You said it. How am I feeling? I'm feeling like I want to grind my ass off to get to the cash. This is probably the least amount of action I've came into a bankroll blitz. So there's a lot to talk about, and obviously there's a lot of looming, injuries, quarterback situations that we have to talk about. But yeah, at some point in every season, in every year, maybe every month, you're going to run into a wall of variance. And it's the type of variance that I'm hitting right now in the past 3 weeks that it's like when you're in the midst of it, there's no end in sight. You just feel like you're stuck. This past week, I captured 84% CLV on 84% of my straight bets, CLV on 84%. I lost 15 units. It just puts it into context. It's hard to keep your composure, but it's the nature of the beast. Let's get to work, man.
Let's get to work. Thank you guys all for joining us. We got Man, Bear, Pig in the house. We have the Wager Detective, Ayas, Gerald Jones, Luis, Brett Sturgeon, Uncle Eddie. Thank you guys for joining us. Dougie Wise in the house. Thank you guys for joining us. This is an extremely important week for us here. Let's talk about the week that was quickly and get ready to attack this enormous Week 17 card. This is the order of which I bet these in, so that's why you're going to hear it. So Buffalo, Cleveland, first half under, full game under 42.5. Loser. I hammered the live under 3 different times, which got me back a full unit. But still, later on, you'll hear my Bills minus 9.5, which also lost. It was a rough game for me. I got some back, but L.A. Rams, Seattle, first half under 21.5 cashed. Hard to believe it cashed with such a high-scoring game. Full game under 44 lost. Seattle +1 cashed. Philadelphia, Washington, first half over lost. Full game over cashed. Bears +1 cashed. As I said, the Bills minus 9.5 lost. KC, Tennessee, first half over 19.5. Full game over 37.5. They both lost. Bengals, money line. Bengals -2 cash. Atlanta, Arizona, first half over 23.5 cashed. Atlanta, Arizona, full game over 48 lost. Lions -6.5 lost. Lions double result lost. New England, Baltimore, first half under 23.5, a +105 cash, but the full game under lost. We did get in live on our live stream on the under that cashed, but that doesn't count for this. Ravens -3 lost. Colts +6 lost. And then the San Francisco, Indianapolis Colts, first half over and full game over was, we got there.
You got there.
But it hadn't built until I tried to explain why the Colts had dropped to 3.5-4. And once I did, I was like, oh, they're going to score. And we know the Niners are going to score. So first half over and full game over helped me very much. But poor week, 10-13, minus 4.5 units. Disappointing and need to bounce back here. Tell us about the week that was for you.
So it started with the Rams. I had the money line. I also had the +2. Somehow that didn't make it into the Discord, so it didn't count towards my record. So I lost with the Rams money line. Had the Seahawks team total under 21.5 and the under 44.5 in the game. 2 bets, which I closed with CLV, and obviously didn't come out to fruition there. Commanders versus Eagles, first half over, full game over, 22 and 44 respectively. Split there. I felt like I should have hit the first half. Bears. I hammered the Bears. Bears first half money line was a loser. Then I hit the Bears money line, the Bears -1. That's the lone bright spot when it comes to variance. A bet that I had no right winning. And then the rest of them were just the complete opposite, right? The Vikings -2.5 was a winner. The Vikings first half under just an egregious loss in that first half. The Giants versus Vikings under 44.5 was an easy winner. Should have doubled up there with easy wins. Josh Allen under 2 of 10.5 passing was a winner. Ladd McConkey over 47.5. He posts 43 yards in the first quarter and doesn't get there. But Falcons minus 2.5. The Falcons Bills money line parlay. Those both hit. Broncos minus 3. The Jags have thorn in my side. Broncos double result was losers. Then I absolutely took a bath with the Lions and the Ravens. Double result. Teasers, money line parlays, first halves, just really hard pill to swallow. Not so much the Lions, which was my strongest bet, but the Ravens was a situation that I felt like I should have won a high amount of time. Then I finished off with the Colts 6.5, Colts 6, Colts first half +3, closed with value, lost them all. So I lost about 15-ish units, 15.67 units this week. And let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's turn the page. Thank you guys all for joining us. We got Aaron Gaza, Mark Navarez, Curtis Berry, Luke Burrow coming to us from Australia, Nicholas Handy, Vincent Hawkins. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's get to work. We have a massive Week 17 schedule, a massive Christmas Day schedule, and we start at 1 p.m. Eastern on Christmas, Thursday, December 25th, 1 p.m. Eastern, with the Dallas Cowboys 6-8-1, 2-5 on the road at the Washington Commanders, 4-11, 2-5 at home. We're at Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland. Let's get into the line history here for this one and the cash flow, and we will go from there. Sorry, I had the NHL line history up. I apologize for that, but here we go. Cash flow is all set and ready, so let's roll. The Dallas Cowboys are -7 right now. -7. I'm looking at having a problem with one of the sites that I use, but this has look aheads as well. The look ahead was the Cowboys -3. That moved to 3.5. It reemerged at a 6 with the injury question marks around who will be starting at quarterback for the Commanders. 6 dropped to 5.5, got back to 6, got up to 6.5. Now we have a 7. So we have a 1-point move towards the Cowboys since this line reemerged. From a total standpoint here, we have this sitting at 51. And I believe that it doesn't matter who is at quarterback for the Commanders, we'll go over. But I want to know, I want to have a script set up.
You think you're saying over here, huh?
I'm saying over, but I'm not just going to bet it and say, well, I expect this, and that. When I don't, I really want to know who is at quarterback. I would prefer Hartman. I think he, with his, I think he throws the ball a lot all over the field. But in saying that, look, I've not moved on this game yet, and I wanted to talk it out with you guys. 50.5 closed at 51. No look ahead here for this total. From a cash flow perspective, we have 79% of tickets, 89% of cash on the Dallas Cowboys line, moving towards them quickly. 60% of tickets on the over, 68% of cash on the over, and it not really moving that much. Got Swish in the house. We got the Goracle, Wolfie Conservatives as well joining us. Jared TG, thank you guys for joining us. And Gorky, great work last night on the Monday Nighter. So let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. They're at the Giants next. Look, they don't have anything to play for. It's no look ahead. The Commanders are at the Eagles next. Eagles have won the division. Eagles are going to keep trying, but no one's looking ahead. We have the Cowboys passing offense ranked 3rd, rushing offense ranked 26th, red zone offense ranked 20th. 55.9% of the time they're scoring touchdowns. Just 55.9% of the time with the weapons they have. It's not been a very good red zone offense. We have the third down offense 9th, 42%. Passing defense 2nd worst. Rush defense getting a little better, 27th. Red zone defense 3rd worst. It's been that way all year long. They allow touchdowns 70.7% of the time. Third down defense 2nd worst. They're allowing conversions 47.5% of the time. And this is the 12th ranked pass rush, coming off a 34-17 loss at home to the Chargers. The noise canceled score was 35-25 Chargers. The Cowboys have lost 3 in a row. They had that 3-game winning streak a little while ago, and Schottenheimer even got over 500. But that's gone. 6-8-1 now. They were eliminated from playoff contention the day before when the Eagles won at Washington. The Cowboys were outgained 452 to 340 by the Chargers. Dak was 21 and 30 for 244, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. TD passes on the first 2 drives and then nothing. Couldn't find the end zone again. Pickens led receivers with 7 for 130 and a touchdown. Javonte ran 9 times for 34, caught 2 for 9. Disappointing game. Offense was 4 of 9 on third down, 1 of 3 in the red zone. I don't know why they struggle in the red zone. They shouldn't. They're also 1 of 3 on fourth down. The defense couldn't get stopped, so they moved Eberflus to the coaching booth from the sideline. And, we all expect them to get fired at the end of the season, and nothing's helping. They allowed the Chargers to have 7.3 yards per play. They allowed the Chargers to dominate time of possession, 34-27 to 25-33. Chargers were 7 of 11 on third down, 2 of 4 in the red zone. Pass rush was quiet, 0 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. So that's back-to-back games where Dallas has not had a sack. And this time they did it against a makeshift weak offensive line. So, Herbert's already been sacked 49 times, career high. And they couldn't get a sack. It was at home against the Chargers. They can't get a sack. I mean, the defense looks bad. Trayvon Diggs was back. He played for the first time since week 6. Concussion and knee issues. DeMarvion overshowing a concussion in the first half. He didn't return. He's in protocol. He's not practicing. He's not going to come back. I doubt. Defensive tackle Quinton Williams, offensive tackle Tyler Guyton, and cornerback Kalen Carson were all inactive and listed as questionable this week. Let's talk about these Commanders. Passing offense 13th, rushing offense 18th. I mean, we shouldn't really talk about their offense until we know who's at quarterback. And the statistical profile of their offense is all discombobulated because, it's all these different quarterbacks. Let's talk about their defense, the 3rd worst pass defense. So we have the 3rd worst Commanders pass defense going up against the 2nd worst Cowboys pass defense. These teams are just bad. We have the 29th ranked Commanders red zone defense going up against the 30th ranked Cowboys defense. We have 2 teams that don't care, and defense takes care. You have to care about defense. You don't necessarily need to care that much about offense. You can kind of just deliver. Third down defense, 23rd. Pass rush ranked 22nd. Coming off an ugly 29-18 loss at home to the Eagles. Noise cancel score is 29-16 Eagles. They have a one-day rest advantage on the Cowboys. Eagles outgained the Commanders 385 to 220. Commanders offense put up 4.3 yards per play. Mariota went 7 of 14 for 95. No touchdowns, no picks. Concussion cleared, and then he's got the hand injury. So it's unclear if he can play. Josh Johnson was 5 of 9 for 43 yards in relief. Terry McLaurin caught 3 for 53, and Rodriguez ran 15 times for 63 yards, a touchdown, and caught a 6-yard pass. 2 of 10 on third down, but managed to go 2 of 3 in the red zone. The 29th ranked red zone defense allowed the Eagles to go perfect 3 of 3 down there. This meek Commanders pass rush was quiet again. 2 sacks, but just 1 quarterback hit. They lose Jalen Lane to an ankle injury in the first quarter. He's been put on IR. Sam Cosmi, their right guard, evaluated for concussion. They've already placed him on IR. His season's over. Defense tackle Johnny Newton is in protocol. He's going to try to get through it, where Sam is not. Laramie Tunsil was inactive. He's listed as questionable this week. Why would he bother coming back? Bobby Wagner and Jerome Payne are beat up. They're not going to be practicing early in the week. They might not practice late in the week. They are kind of expected to play at this point. I mean, it just feels like these 2 teams have thrown in the towel. So do we trust the Commanders to care at home? Do we trust either team to care because it's a divisional game? These are the questions that need to be answered. Troy Torrence, take it away. Cowboys, Commanders.
Well, I mean, when I first started capping this game, I didn't even want to. If it wasn't a Christmas Day primetime game, I would have completely surpassed this one, because who's going to be playing quarterback for the Commanders, Jim? Who do you think is going to be playing quarterback? That's the question. I mean, how can we even cap this game without it?
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, but let's just talk about, if Mariota comes back, plays through injury, you think that inspires the Commanders?
I think if Mariota comes back, they're going to be, I feel like on prime time, we're going to get effort. Like, this is a sleepy spot I feel like we're going to get effort because it's prime time, as I do with most spots. And that's why I like backing big dogs, even if they're out of playoff contention on prime time, because I think we are going to get effort. And it's so hard. This Cowboys team, the defense it's putrid. Any competent offense will be able to exploit it. So I was thinking if Mariota was in, this line is going to move significantly. It's going to drop below the 6. The total is going to absolutely skyrocket. So there's a lot of things that still need to be ironed out. I mean, this Cowboys defense allowed the Chargers to go 7 for 11 on third down, 7.3 in yards per attempt, not sacking Herbert, applying pressure on 42% of snaps, but they had to blitz 43% to do that. I mean, it didn't seem like a serious effort, but if you watch that game, they were giving serious effort in that game, and they still couldn't get the job done. And I backed it, the over in the Commanders-Eagles game this past week. I think it's a great spot. This is a very similar market, similar number. The total's much higher this time around, and I think that's reflective of the defense that the Cowboys are going to stroll out there. And, so 40-year-old Josh Johnson, if that's who we get, this is a guy that hasn't had more than 100 dropbacks in any season since, in his long tenure, his long career in the NFL. Hasn't dropped back more than 100 times. Only once he did that. And it was, 114 dropbacks in 2018. That's 7 years ago. He had a 69 passer rating. That's like 3 or 4 starts. It's not even a full season. It's not. How can you even? What is it? What can we make of Josh Johnson? I guess we could say he's going to do pretty well. It is the Cowboys defense, but it just, to me, it feels like a spot where, this is where Dak Prescott against this type of defense is going to thrive. This is where, on prime time, we should see effort from the defense. If we're getting 40-year-old Josh Johnson, it's hard to imagine that they don't have some success, at least find some stops, because this Commanders pass defense is so weak. So I don't know what to do with this game. I do like the total, the look on the over. This is a very similar market, and we have a worse defense, and obviously the number reflects the difference in the defense coming from the road team. So
the question is, when do we bet it?
I would say. I don't think we're going below a 47, and I don't think we're going above a 54. So that's a massive range, and it's hard. It's hard. It's so hard to try to measure.
Josh Johnson is expecting to start. Should that be enough for us just to say Josh Johnson is the likely starting quarterback? If Mariota's announced out, Josh Johnson's announced in, this has to drop to 49.5, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it drops maybe even lower. I think it potentially goes lower, man. And I think that Josh Johnson will find some success. The few starts I did dig into, he actually found success against like-kind defenses with similar profiles, especially this pass defense. He started against Indianapolis one year. It was one of the worst coverage units. They couldn't defend the pass, and Josh Johnson had 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, a pick, and 104 passer rating. So he is capable of putting up a good performance, but he's 40 years old.
The Cowboys have a bunch of players. So this is the time in week 17 when you can't count on the questionable players to give it a go and try and play if you're not in a playoff race. So they have a ton of them. A Tyler Booker at guard. Javonte Williams was a limited participant. He's dealing with a neck injury. We can expect him to want to play on Christmas Day. Turpin and Flournoy are both dealing with injuries. They Donovan Wilson with a hip injury. So I think that's the way to do it here. I think the idea I think this will be my plan here. And if this is the plan I want to ask, my idea is that Johnson's going to be announced as starting quarterback tomorrow afternoon. And the line will drop and we have to time it right to bet overs. Then if Josh Johnson's at quarterback, this line will move further towards the Cowboys. I don't think I really like the Cowboys here on the road. I know it's Christmas Day, so there's something to play for, but I don't think this is a smash and grab necessarily. Do you?
Oh, man. I don't know, man. That was such an embarrassing loss around prime time. I don't know. It's so hard to say because, unfortunately, we could have got the Cowboys off a win or something, It's so hard. I'm going to be betting it. I don't know what I'm going to do. Honestly, I have lean Commanders receiving props. That's my note on this game as to what to bet.
Here we also have the short week with the Cowboys traveling and the Commanders not traveling. I think I'm set. I'm not going to be on the Cowboys in any form. If I wanted a double result or something like that, I would need to bet it now. What has this group done to show us that they have heart? I'm not saying that there's not complete legitimacy for this line moving towards the Cowboys, and Londo on the Cowboys -7. I get it. But I would prefer expecting points to be scored and defenses to look terrible. Red zone defenses to look awful and points to be scored. And, highlight reel type stuff on Christmas morning. So that's going to be my plan at this point. My plan is as soon as Josh Johnson is announced in, I'll move on the over. And honestly, if Mariota is announced in as well, I'll still move on the over. I want to try and time this right. So that's my plan here. Is there anything you want to talk about with your plan before we move on to our next Christmas game?
No, we can move on. And I'm going to have to go let my dog, and I'll be right back.
Okay, let's roll. 4:30 p.m. Eastern. We have our next spot on the board. The Detroit Lions 8-7, 3-4 on the road. The Minnesota Vikings 7-8, 2-4 at home. We're at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's get into the line history in this one. Of course, this line has moved off of the J.J. McCarthy hand injury, hairline fracture. He's already being ruled out. Max Brosmer will be starting at quarterback. So let's take a look at the line history here. We have a total at 43. Very low total. The look ahead was 49, reemerged at 46, and we're down to 43, which is wild indoors in the Detroit Lions football game. That's a big drop. So it's a 3-point drop since the reemergence. The look ahead here was the Lions -3.5, went to 3.5, closed at 3.5. Reemerged to 5.5, got up to 7, like the Cowboys game, and we're sitting here at the 7. We get to the cash flow for this one. We have 71% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on the Detroit Lions, 66% of the tickets, and 70% of the cash on the over. Circa has the flat 43. We have DK and FanDuel with the 43.5. Let's talk about these Lions first. Their passing offense is ranked 10th. They're at the Chicago Bears next. And right now they have an 8% chance of winning getting into the playoffs. 8% chance. So they're going to have all hands on deck for this game against the Vikings. They won't be looking ahead of the Bears. They would love the opportunity to care about that game. Their passing offense ranked 10th, rushing offense ranked 13th. This rushing offense was a complete debacle last week. Red zone offense 6th. They score touchdowns 64.4% of the time. Their third down offense 19th. They convert 38.6% of the time. Passing defense ranked 9th. Rush defense ranked 4th. Red zone defense ranked 16th. They allow touchdowns 58% of the time. Their third down defense is 11th. They allow conversions 37.9% of the time. And the pass rush is 5th. Lions coming off a disappointing 29-24 home loss to the Steelers. Detroit's lost 2 games for the first time in over 3 years. So noise canceled score was 33-31 Lions. Lions were outgained 481 to 361. They got nothing out of their ground game. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery combined for 11 carries for 16 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 7 carries for 2 yards. Jared Goff was 34-54 for 364, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Jameson Williams led receivers with 5 catches for 70 yards. Lions went just 7 of 17 on 3rd down, 1 of 4 on 4th down. The defense couldn't get stops. They let the Steelers put up a season-high 481 yards. Now, obviously, Rodgers is looking much better, but Steelers went 10 of 18 on 3rd and 4th down, which allowed the Steelers to dominate time of possession, 34-06 to 25-54. They did hold the Steelers to 0-3 in the red zone. The teams combined to go 1-7 in the red zone, and the game still somehow went over. I would love to see a stat that showed. Now, I wasn't on the under, so I didn't get burnt. But I would love to see a stat where it shows how many games where teams have gone 1-7 in the red zone and they've gone over the total. I'm sure it would be a very minuscule situation. Aiden Hutchinson had 2 sacks and 3 quarterback hits, but no one else had a sack. DJ Reader was the only one to touch the quarterback other than Aiden Hutchinson. He was the only one with a hit. He hit Rodgers once. And you have center Graham Glasgow with the knee injury, center Tristan Colin with the wrist injury, both inactive. So they had Kingsley Egwakun, first start after he barely played. Awasaka, too, a guard, missed his 3rd straight game, but he's going to be back for this. He's not on the injury report. And Taylor Decker will be a game time decision. Let's talk about these Vikings here. Next, they host the Packers. It doesn't mean anything to them, obviously. but they care, I guess. I don't know. It's just divisional game. Passing offense 31st, rushing offense 11th, red zone offense 17th, third down offense 31st. What is what we properly deciphered in the Monday night game, and the reason why we moved on the overs was that Danny Dimes had been playing so poorly that 44-year-old Phillip Rivers wasn't really that much of a drop with the injured Danny Dimes. Not the Danny Dimes I saw early in the year, but that once we got there, we're like, okay, that led us to the over. The problem is that I still don't know what the hell J.J. McCarthy's going to do from game to game. We've seen him at times look very good and at times look horrible. So I don't know, at least Daniel Jones was playing consistent, whether it was good or bad. When it was bad, he just consistently played bad there for 4 weeks. We also talked about the statistical profile of the Colts, and they only played one home game since October 26th. So that led us there. I mean, how much of a drop is Max Brosner from J.J. McCarthy? The noise canceled score was 12-9 Vikings after that 16-13 victory. Their defense has gotten very strong. The Denver Broncos no longer has the best red zone defense in the NFL. It's Flores, Minnesota Vikings. Pass defense 19th, rush defense 16th. Third down defense is 5th. Now you have a red zone defense number 1, the 5th ranked third down defense, pass rush 15th. Flores is going to be going all out here. The Vikings held the Giants to just 141 yards, 2.9 yards per play. McCarthy was 9-14 for 108 and interception before he got hurt. He'd also lost a fumble. Brosmer came into relief with 7-9 for 52 yards. We already had Brosmer's horrific football game. We already went through that. He went through that. That's going to help him here. Justin Jefferson led receivers with 6 catches for 85 yards. No one else caught more than 2 passes for more than 26 yards. The offense did, barely enough. 8 of 13 on third and fourth down, 1 of 3 in the red zone. It was the defense held the Giants to 3 of 13 on third and fourth down, 0 of 3 in the red zone. Pass rush finished with 5 sacks, 6 quarterback hits. Byron Murphy, had an interception. Jordan Mason, hurt his ankle, was carted off to the locker room. Ryan Kelly concussed. That's his 3rd this year and 6th of his career, so he's not going to play anymore this year. So you're going to have the backup center with Brosmer. And then Grinnard and offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw were both put on IR before the game. This is a mess. Take it away for us here. 4:30 p.m. Christmas Day action, Lions Vikings.
I need to find Brosmer's A dot. Yeah. Oh yeah, I actually like this game. So, and I want to talk about the market because it's very similar. Like there's a lot of games that kind of look like this. There's one earlier in the week, or there's the one we just talked about in the Cowboys Commanders. That's a great example of what we're looking at right here. I'm seeing 7.5 start to show up. I bet the Lions at -5.5 as soon as it started popping on FanDuel, and I was shocked to see it. All the other books were at 6.5. FanDuel was hanging at 5.5. I grabbed it. I posted it immediately, and part of the reason is when I look, so there's a wider range, but I want to talk about the very specific range of the market that I'm looking at. We're looking at a line closing between 7 and 8 after moving towards the road team in a divisional matchup. And here's the dichotomy of this spot. I find it fascinating. In weeks 1 through 10, the home team is 3-0 ATS, 2-2 straight up. Pretty damn good. Then if you fast forward all the way to week 18, the home team is 4-0 ATS, 1-3 straight up. So basically between weeks 1 and 10, and in week 18, the home team combines for 4-0 straight up, or 4-0 ATS, 1-3 against, or 1-3 straight up. 4-0 ATS, 1-3 straight up. Sorry. And then in weeks 11 through 17, that's where you look at the home team getting clobbered. 0-4 ATS, 0-4 straight up, losing by an average of 22 points, and never coming within 17 points in those matchups. So that to me, that reflects a team on the road that's looking to make the playoffs. The books are hanging a big number. People see in division, they think very close games mostly. And I think optically, I really like the way this market is shaping up for the Lions. And this is coming from a guy who just had a max bet on the Lions last week between the teasers, the money line parlays, the spread, and the double result. So it's really hard for me to want to go back to the well. Immediately coming into this cap, I'm like, man, I hope this market starts taking towards the Vikings and give me some confidence and backing them. Sure enough, I saw him move the other way, and I got a great number at 5.5. I look at Brosmer at quarterback, and I cannot imagine this guy trying to play from behind late in the fourth against a desperate football team looking for a win. No Darisaw at left tackle. Ryan Kelly probably doesn't play. Greenard's on the IR. What is there to what can we expect from this Vikings team? And I know the Lions have been largely underwhelming, and they have a lot of their own issues, but they do have revenge, which is appealing. They're down at their fourth string tight end. The Lions secondary absolutely decimated. They need a miracle to make the playoffs even. So I know that there's still a chance that they can make the playoffs. But they need a lot of things to go right to do that. I am on the Lions, and I also have another bet in this game. I have a teaser with the Texans. Lions teaser. Texans plus 8.5, Lions -1, and that's at -120. So I got the 5.5, got the teaser, and happy with my action.
And the Lions -5.5 was regular vig?
No. The Lions -5.5 is at -118.
-118. And can you give me the teaser one more time?
Lions -1, Texans plus 8.5, -120.
Yeah, I get it. Every time Jahmyr Gibbs has one of these games where he just does, zilch, he usually bounces back in an enormous way. Feels like that is a possibility here. But also, the Flores Vikings defense has looked so good lately.
I mean, what the hell happened with that? They ran the ball like 12 times for 15 yards. What the hell happened to this offense? It's funny because I came into my handicap last week talking about the Lions are about to pound the rock. They didn't do none of that. And I feel like that. Whenever I think a favorite is going to pound the rock, they do the exact opposite. And I think of two teams. I think of the Lions and I think of the Ravens when I do that. So
this total down to 43.
Yeah, let's actually see what that has meant historically. Yeah, I mean, it's telling us that to me, this is telling me Brosmer is not going to be putting up points. And that makes sense. The Vikings have been generating all their points off a good rushing attack the past few weeks. Really leaning heavily on it. They've been successful on the ground. It's opened up the door for J.J. McCarthy. It opened the door for Brosmer to at least find some success. That's not going to be there against the Lions, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It all makes sense. I get it. I'm going to need more time to sit with it, but I mean, this is a very angry Lions team on Christmas Day. And they want to show out. All right. So Lions -5.5, -118 for Troy. Teasers also Lions -1. And the Texans plus 8.5 at -120. And it makes sense. I'm going to need to sit with the Christmas Day games longer here. Let's roll on here. Shout out to Trisha. Thank you so much for the wonderful Christmas message. It says, special shout out for Susie. Thank you. She's here. Mom and Susie are here for Christmas. So thank you, Trisha. Thank you for the dono. Thank you for the positive, wonderful wishes on Christmas. We love you, Trisha. Thank you. Trisha Monroe here. Blessing our action. Let's roll into our Christmas night game, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, with the Denver Broncos 12-3, 5-2 on the road at the Kansas City Chiefs 6-9, 5-3 at home at Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. And the weather is incredible. 60 Fahrenheit. I mean, the in Charlotte on Sunday, the weather is, now we'll double check it again because it's changing pretty quick, but 70 Fahrenheit. And then on Monday it's 41, a high of 41. So the weather is pretty wild right now in Kansas City, Missouri, weather-wise on Thursday. It's changing. So for Kansas City, they go down to 33 Fahrenheit on Monday. But on Christmas Day, it's going to be 66, a high of 66, beautiful and warm. Let's get into the line history here and the cash flow for our next spot on the board. Christmas night, we have Denver at -13. -13. The look ahead was 5.5, moved to 6, closed there, reemerged at 11.5. Then we get to 12, 12.5, and 13. There's 13.5s now. I'm assuming this will go to 14. It's just a one-way slide here. We have a total down to 36. I thought that the total in the Titans-Chiefs game was too low, and I lost that by 2.5 points. I mean, no points were scored in the first quarter. Live bet cash, but pre-bet did not. 39.5 was the look ahead. Reemerged at 37, dropped to 36. We know that Minshew is following the same path that Mahomes is on, both with horrible injuries. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one. Cash flow wise, we have 84% of the tickets, 87% of cash on the Denver Broncos, 54% of tickets, and 74% of the cash on the under. So we'll start with the Broncos. They host the Chargers next week. I mean, that has got to be the biggest look ahead spot on the schedule. Broncos are going to play Chris Oladokun with the Chargers on deck. But let's talk about the Broncos. Passing offense ranked 14th, rushing offense 17th, red zone offense 11th, third down offense 12th. Their pass defense ranked 12th, rush defense 5th. Second best red zone defense in the NFL. We just talked about the Vikings overtaking them, and still the best third down defense in the NFL. Pass rush ranked 11th. Broncos coming off a tough 34-20 setback at home to the Jaguars, snapped their impressive 11-game winning streak. It was also the Denver Broncos' first defeat at home since October 13th, 2024, snapping a 12-game home winning streak. The noise-canceled score was much closer, 31-27 Jaguars. Broncos outgained the Jags 445 to 346. Bo Nix was 28-47 for 352 yards, touchdown, interception. He also lost a fumble. Cortland Sutton caught 6 passes for 86 yards and a touchdown. RJ Harvey ran 7 times for 50 and a touchdown, caught 4 for 71. He looked very good. Broncos were just 6 of 17 on third and fourth down, 1 of 2 in the red zone, and the defense allowed the Jags to go 8 of 15 on third down and 4 of 5 in the red zone. Remember, this was the number 1 red zone defense before that happened. While the defense struggled, the pass rush again put up strong numbers, 5 sacks, 14 quarterback hits. They have a franchise record-tying 63 sacks on the season. Pat Bryant was injured in that scary tackle at the end of the game by Monteric Brown. He's been released from hospital, evaluated for concussion. All other tests came back negative, so everything's good there. Nate Adkins, their tight end, and Dre Greenlaw, inside linebacker, are dealing with injuries. They're all 3 are listed as questionable. Obviously, Pat Bryant's not coming back, but the other 3 are listed as questionable. Oh, the Chiefs. Raiders to close out the year. Passing offense rank. Well, we don't need to talk about their passing offense rankings. We'll go to their defense. Even that, we don't even need to talk about because there's so many players out of the lineup that aren't coming back. No need to come back. It's turned into one ugly season. Their statistical profile does not help us at all and doesn't even need to be talked about. They coming off a 26-9 loss at the Titans. Noise cancel score was 32-10 Titans. So we have the first losing record for the Chiefs since 2012. That's their most recent season without Andy Reid as their coach. And they've lost 4 straight games. That's their longest streak since 2017. They've also lost 6 of 7. They were outgained 376 to 133. Of course, Patrick Mahomes out with the torn ACL and LCL. Now Gardner Minshew got his first start and promptly tore his ACL. He was 3 for 8 for 15 yards before being replaced by Oladokun. Xavier Worthy led receivers with 2 catches for 41. Pacheco ran 8 times for 34, caught 6 for 41. 1 of 9 on third down, 0 of 1 in the red zone. The defense couldn't get any stops. Titans went 9 of 17 on third down to allow them to dominate time of possession, 38-01 to 21-59. The Titans went 3 of 4 in the red zone. Pass rush had 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. The Chiefs came in with right tackle Juwan Taylor. They just put him on IR, and then they declared 9 players out. Rashee Rice, left tackle Jalen Moore, cornerback Trent McDuffie. I mean, they're not going to come back for these meaningless final 2 games. So here we go. Troy, Broncos, Chiefs, take it away.
This is not a game I'm very interested in, and it's because I do want to fade the Broncos. Obviously, I just backed them for the first time in a long time, trying to decide between which team was fraudulent. I picked the wrong team last week because I was on the Broncos against the Jaguars. The first time I backed the Broncos since the Cowboys game, and I took a loss. But when I look at this spot, and I want to fade the Broncos now, home dogs of more than 8 points in division in weeks 10 or later, 1-7 ATS. 1-7 ATS, 7-1 to the over in those games. The only cover was this Broncos team at home against the Chiefs in week 14. The Broncos were the big dog. They lost by 6. These teams get blown out in the spot. I mean, in the worst beatdowns that they faced were on prime time. 2 of them were holiday games. The Chiefs smoked the Raiders. The Dolphins smoked the Jets. Those were 2022 and 2023 respectively. There was none of this market in 2024. So fast forward to 2025, the only game in the sample here is the Cardinals Rams. What I'm saying is this number is telling me the Chiefs are about to get freaking smoked. And I know, like you want to, the Broncos are going to be looking ahead. It makes a ton of sense, but they're off a loss. Unfortunately, they're off a loss. Maybe I could justify it if they're off a win and they're laying this big number, maybe even more off a win. But at this point, I can't do it. I mean, I can't back the Chiefs. They allowed the Titans to put up 26 points. The Titans held the Chiefs to a 37% success rate, and it got worse as the game went on. This is a Super Bowl caliber team with nothing to play for. This would be like me playing bad. This is like I imagine the Chiefs players playing like I would be playing if I was playing basketball at LA Fitness. You know, it's fun. It's not serious at all. And the Broncos, they need to win. They're double-digit road favorites. The last time they were a double-digit favorite, they beat the Chiefs 38-0. I was on the Chiefs in that game. So, I am not going to be betting this game, at least on the side. I will look towards the total and bet this over potentially, but that's the only way I could look.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think points will be scored in this football game. And I thought that in the Titans-Chiefs game.
So in the sample I'm looking at, every single road team went over 30 points in this entire sample. They averaged 37 points. There's 8 games in here. Like, this is a pretty significant. Now, no total has been this low. No total has been this low. But I do like the over.
I think that Wager Tech says, why is this 36.5? I think it's at the right spot. We just watched the Titans Chiefs go to 35. I mean, the expectation is that the offense would drop with Oladukin compared to Minshew, even though, Man Bear Pig doesn't believe that's the case. And the Broncos will, the issue here, and I just thought, look, if the Titans put up 26 points, how am I not cashing the first half over and full game over? Since the Chiefs were failed to do anything offensively. Is it possible the Broncos overlooked them a little bit? They're not quite locked in defensively as they should be. I don't know. Vincent Hawkins says Broncos team total over is a logical play. That's all that he is playing.
Yeah, maybe that is the only play, honestly. The total's so low, so you could justify maybe. It's just, oh, man. Tough game, man.
It's also one of those spots where I think that you'd want to bet the first half over and the full game over if you're moving on the over.
I mean, the Broncos team total's 24.5.
Yeah, that's got to get over unless they're just not. I mean, the Broncos team total over. A Sweat No Bet says you got to watch early outcomes. I get that. I think that's it. The Broncos team total over. Again, I think that should be bet first half and full game because there's the possibility that the Broncos just shut it down in the second half. Just run the ball, don't care, don't risk anything. Mel says Chiefs alt team total unders. All right. Fireside said his first read was a horrible game where Denver has 4 field goals, wins 12-0. Look, if the Chiefs were playing some of their defense, but they're not. Their key players are just not out there, or a lot of them aren't there. I should say they're key players, but
24.5. This ain't gonna go down to a flat 24, is it?
I mean, it's been dropping, but I don't see how this would drop. I think that I don't see how it would.
Yeah. 24.5 at even money.
Very nerve-wracking here. Betting the first half over, full game over, Broncos team total first half over and full game over. But I kind of think that's how I want to do it here. So that is our Thursday nighter, 8:15 p.m. Eastern on Christmas night, Broncos Chiefs. So it's Broncos team total over and the full game over. Anything that you want to make official at this point or touch on before we move on to Saturday action?
Let's move on.
All right, that is our Christmas Day games, and sorry for Netflix. It's a bad investment for them. Let's roll on to Saturday action. Saturday action. Saturday, December 27th. Shout out to Stimmy OG in the house. Houston Texans at Los Angeles Chargers here. We're at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The Texans 10-5, 4-3 on the road. Chargers 11-4, 6-2 at home. The Chargers have clinched the playoffs after the Colts loss. The Texans have the Colts on deck. They host these Colts coming up. Let's take a look at this Texans-Chargers line history. Clearly the Texans were looking ahead at this game and almost cost them. This total is a 39.5. 39.5. Low total, but understandably so. The look ahead was 39.5. This reemerged at 40 and dropped a half point to 39.5. It's also juiced to the under at 39.5, implying that 39s are on their way. From a point spread standpoint here, we have the Chargers -2, -109. -2 and -109. The look ahead was the Chargers as a dog at home, +1, and it closed at +1.5. Very interesting. Reemerged at -1, -1.5, and then money came in on Texans. This became a pick 'em again. This was a pick 'em again on a late Sunday night, a pick 'em. Then this line started moving to the Chargers. Now they're -2 at -109. Let's get to the cash flow here. We have 69% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on the Chargers, 64% of the tickets, and 84% of cash on the under. We have circa moving this to 2. None of the legal American books have gone off the 39.5 at this point. So let's roll. We're going to start with the Texans. As I said, they're hosting the Colts on deck. Passing offense ranked 18th. Rushing offense 22nd. Red zone offense is the second worst in the NFL. It's been a problem all year. 45.1% of the time they're scoring touchdowns. Their third down offense is ranked 20th. They convert 38.2% of the time. Their pass defense is ranked 3rd, and rush defense is ranked 7th. Been very, very impressive. Red zone defense ranked 23rd. They allow touchdowns 60% of the time. Pretty high for such a good defense. Third down defense ranked 3rd. They only allow conversions 34.6% of the time. This is second ranked pass rush here. So Gorkel has the Chargers at +100. Of course, Londo Herbert is playing. Yep. Oh, he's playing and playing very well. The Texans come in off their 7th straight win, an underwhelming 23-21 home victory over the lowly Raiders. It's their longest winning streak since a 9-game winning streak in 2018. They're a game behind Jacksonville in the AFC South. The noise-canceled score was 18-16 Raiders. Raiders outgained the Texans 315 to 270. And all that it does is just confirm the reality that every single NFL team that gets shut out should be bet the next week, even if it's the most horrifying situation backing a Raiders team that looks lost. Has to be bet every single time. Every single time for the rest of our lives. That's all it confirms.
Until further notice, at least.
Yes. Yes. So, and Tommy Gunn's talking about how bad Stroud looked against the Raiders. Yeah, they all did. They were all looking ahead. Stroud was 23 of 35 for 187 yards, touchdown, no interceptions. Nico Collins led receivers with 4 catches for 59 yards. Jawar Jordan had 15 carries for 53 yards, but the offense looked terrible. Absolutely terrible. They were held to 4.4 yards per play, 7 of 15 on third down, 1 of 2 in the red zone. The defense allowed the Raiders to put up 5.9 yards per play, 6 of 14 on third down, 1 of 1 in the red zone. Pass rush was quiet, 3 sacks is okay, but they only had 2 quarterback hits. Stingley had a pick. He's very good. Texans linebacker Jake Hansen injured his chest in the first quarter. He did not return. Arante Ursary hurt his hand in the fourth quarter. Also, Aziz Al-Shair did not play. He's inactive. He's listed as questionable this week, but everybody expects him to play this week. Offense tackle Trent Brown and Woody Marks were all inactive. They're all expected to play this week. Let's talk about these Chargers. They're at the Broncos next week in a monstrous game. So both teams have huge games ahead of them. Kind of evens out, flattens out. Passing offense for the Chargers ranked 10th. Rushing offense ranked 1st. Red zone offense 27th. They only score touchdowns 50% of the time. Their third down offense is 3rd. They convert 47.2% of the time. This defense has now become top 5 in the NFL. I mean, I'm just impressed. How about that? I'm just impressed. Pass defense ranked 5th. Rush defense ranked 11th. Red zone defense ranked fourth. Scoring touchdowns or allowing touchdowns just 50% of the time. Their third down defense ranked sixth. They allow first down just 35.8% of the time. Their pass rush is 19th. Chargers coming off their fourth straight win, 34-17 of the Cowboys. That began a chain of events that allowed them to clinch a playoff berth after all week 16 games were completed. And the AFC West race is still alive, man. Denver lost to Jacksonville. They have a one-game lead on the Chargers with 2 to go. So LA would have the tiebreaker by win the season sweep. They'd have to beat Broncos in the season finale. Noise canceled score was 35-25 Chargers. They outgained the Cowboys 452 to 340. They put up 7.3 yards per play, dominated time of possession 34-27 to 25-33. In his third full game with his left hand completely covered, Herbert led the Chargers to touchdowns in all 3 drives in the first half. He's saying he's much more comfortable now with the hand, and you could tell 23, 29, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's his first 300-yard game since the hand injury. Q caught 4 for 104 in a touchdown. Hampton looked very good, ran 16 times for 85 yards. He also caught a 10-yard pass, and the makeshift offensive line didn't allow Herbert to be sacked, which is a rarity. This guy's been sacked 49 times. Chargers were 7-11 on third down, 2 of 4 in the red zone. The defense held down a talented Cowboys offense, shut them out in the second half, held the Cowboys to 5 of 12 on third and fourth down, 1 of 3 in the red zone. The pass rush struggled once again, 1 sack and 3 quarterback hits. So maybe it can't be a top 5 defense with the pass rush the way it is, and that'd be fair. Left tackle Jamari Sawyer injured a hamstring in the first half. He didn't return. He's listed as questionable this week. Cornerback Dante Jackson left with a groin injury himself, and he didn't return. He's also listed as questionable this week. Take it away for us here, Troy Torrence. A big one, finally. Wish this was a Christmas Day game. Texans, Chargers at SoFi.
This is another game. I was texting Jimmy about this kind of a few times as I was preparing for today's show. Man, it just feels like these numbers are so damn sharp right now. And there's more and more games. I mean, we've already talked about a few that I think are really damn sharp. I think they even get sharper as the week goes on here. And as we cover these games, I'll talk about it. Both these teams are in sell-high situations. Both teams have won 7 of their last 8 games. You know, the Chargers coming off wins against Dallas, KC, and Philly, pretty damn impressive. The Texans winning 7 of the last 8, coming off wins against the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Chiefs, the Colts, and Buffalo, you know, going back a few weeks now. But I feel like there's just so many similarities and parallels between these two teams, between, you know, how their offense stagnates and their defenses have been really the staple of their teams so far this season. Both teams' strength of schedule are 22nd and 20th respectively. Quality defense, potentially elite defenses. And I feel like this could probably be the worst matchup for this Chargers team. The Chargers offensive line, as we know, is the worst in the NFL. Maybe they've turned the leaf a little bit because they got blitzed 43%. They only allowed 42% pressures. Maybe they're figuring something out on the front, but it's hard to bet on that after what we've seen, you know, Herbert running for his life for most of the season. And he's going up against the best pass rush in the NFL, a team that only has to rush to generate pressure, that plays with 2 high safeties. They can play conservative and aggressive because of how great their edge rushers are. That's not good when you're looking at Justin Herbert in the pocket against the likes of this defense. And we got Justin Herbert against a 2 high safety shell. His EPA per dropback drops from plus 0.20 to flat. His yards per attempt drops by a full yard. I mean, it takes, when you have a single high safety and you're under a lot of pressure, there's a lot of easy outs you could take. Any type of vertical down the sideline, like he hit multiple times to Quentin Johnson this past week, when you play with 2 high shell, I mean, it's going to force him into his progression. So if he's 1 second late, when he hesitates, that could be all she wrote because his offensive line is that bad. And the same could actually be said about Stroud, who struggles to beat his 2 high safety looks. Now, he has been better against 2 high safeties this season. Arizona, which is nowhere near the defense he's been seeing, he did settle for it. He'll take the underneath throws. He wasn't doing that prior to this season. But he's taken the underneath throws. You could see that his ADOT in some of these games have been extremely low, like against the Cardinals, who play 2 high a ton, 4.8 ADOT with a 9 yards per attempt and a 137 passer rating. So he's pretty damn efficient. And the Cardinals are a bad tackling football team. That's why you see a 4.8 ADOT with a 9.0 yards per attempt. That's telling me that the Cardinals were not tackling, right? There's a lot of room to run. But to my surprise, the Chargers grade out 26th in the NFL in tackling, but they have been good against quarterbacks who kept their ADOT low. It's a little bit tough to read, just like a lot of these matchups. Like, I feel like this makes a ton of sense for an under, and then you look at the number, you plug it into the database, and you see that this just barely. I mean, it's massive trends to the over. very clear trends to the over. But I mean, it's like by 3 points. The amount of games in this type of market late in the season that have landed between 41 and 44 is like 60% of the games. That's insane. So I feel like this game is going to play out like the Chargers-Eagles game did. Two great defenses in a closely contested game. The Chargers pulled it out on the back of 4 turnovers. I don't think that they're going to be able to realize that again in this game. And I lean towards the Texans. I got the Texans in the teaser. I lean towards the under. I haven't bet that yet. I haven't bet the Texans straight yet. But I do think that the Texans are a fantastic teaser leg at 8.5.
Yeah, that might be so. Goracle says, what's the reason for the line flip? I mean, to me, there's multiple reasons, but the surface simple reason, Chargers look great. It was supposed to be a tough game. We had sharps all over the Cowboys, and they dominated. They shut out the Cowboys in the second half, and the Texans looked horrific. They couldn't have looked any worse. After the Raiders have looked like by far the worst team in the NFL, the Raiders almost beat them in Houston. Now, that's just surface, so there's more than that, but that's the simple answer. What would you give your answer for why this line's flipped?
That's exactly right. I feel like that's exactly right. We'd be looking at a 1 in either direction. It could be -1, +1. Very short on the money line. I feel like it would be a very short price on the money line. And I feel like this is just a little bit of just recency bias.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't see anybody here on the Texans. Chargers. I get it. I want to sit with it for longer. 69 and 64 here on the Chargers. I think Gorky has a fair question, though. I mean, should the Chargers opened up at home in such a big game as an underdog? And I think that's more important than the line move towards them, personally. What do you think they should have opened up as an underdog?
So close. I feel like these two teams are just perfectly pitted. Like I feel like this is we talk about the what is it called? The parity in the NFL. This is the perfect example. I feel like the pick 'em, I mean, it's just an open pick would be where I would imagine this opened and closed.
Dougie White says big coaching advantage for the Chargers. I think Harbaugh is great, but I don't think you should sell D'Amico too short here. I'm not saying that Harbaugh maybe. I mean, D'Amico Ryans is obviously, his past as a Niner is, important to me. But so you have him in a teaser, and that's it at this point.
I have him in a teaser, and that's it. But I do have interest in the Texans. How about you, Jimmy?
After breaking down the football game, I think this is going to be extremely close. If it's extremely close, you have to think that Herbert and Harbaugh pull it out at home.
Right. Fair.
So there is the simple start. Secondly,
but yeah.
Well, I'm just being simple. Like I'm just talking like, again, like this takes time and time. Look at my very best bets are when I've been sitting on a game for 6 days, 7 days. Look at that over last night. Like it's always that way. You're sitting and sitting and sitting. So I think that when you first start capping a game, you start at the surface. Of course you would. Why wouldn't you? And then you slowly peel the layers back. After peeling the layers back here, I think that this game goes under. I think it's, I think both offenses will have trouble moving the ball. If this was outdoors, I mean, what would this be, a 35, 36?
So true. We know they're going to see 2 high safeties. It's going to force them into their progression. I feel like both of them are going to be playing in unfavorable down and distances because I cannot imagine either of these teams have a high success rate. Man, the under makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. I think that it should probably be bet, and that wasn't my initial like that just came from breaking this down. I also think that and again, you guys can take this however you want to take this, but Maybe it doesn't make sense because it really came from being a thoroughbred capper. But you have to be able to not believe what you've just seen. You have to. What we just saw from Stroud was terrible. But the game before, he had a 137.1 rating, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 22-29 for 260 yards. They just overlooked the Raiders. That's all. So I don't think if you are capping this game, you should put a line through the Raiders game and pay no attention to it whatsoever. But you would want Azeez Al-Shaair back. That's important.
That's extremely important. He's one of the only linebackers I feel like in the league that might even have a little bit of they have superstars at every level, right? And he's one of them. He's a huge piece.
Their defense is okay. So all of you guys talking about how the Chargers have a better offense than Texans, you were right. Yes, you're right. But you can't say.
But what has the Chargers done against good defenses?
Sorry, say that again, Mama.
What has the Chargers done against good defenses?
What is the bigger difference? The Chargers having a better offense than the Texans, or the Texans having a better defense than the Chargers? Honestly, the reason why the Chargers opened up as dogs is because the Texans' defense is quite a bit better than Chargers.
Right. The gap between the defense and the offense is bigger with the Texans.
It's bigger. So that would be so again, because we started with the surface, what we saw. If you're digging deeper each time, and that's what capping takes. It takes you keep peeling the layers back, keep peeling the layers back. Also, as you guys have talked about in the chat, and Jose sent to me too, Denzel Perryman is suspended for 2 games. And Dougie White says the Chargers are also a good defense, though. They are.
Oh, they are very good, man.
They're
very good. They proved it. They proved it to me.
They're good. The Texans are great. But maybe this, okay, look. The thing is when this comes right down to the last 3 minutes or 4 minutes of the game, who's going to step up, Herbert or the Texans defense? And I think it's fair to assume that Herbert will get the job done in the toughest situation. Maybe we wouldn't have said that 6 weeks ago. So,
oh, man. Oh, look at this. This is just crazy talk.
So I think it's the under. The Chargers. Dougie West says the Chargers are the more complete team. They were at the beginning of the year, but you take Joe Alt off the team, you take Rashawn Slater off the team, and now it's a toss-up. And I don't know if they are. They have the better quarterback, but even that is not by that wide of a margin. Look at who. Now we couldn't say this 2 years ago, but we couldn't say this last year. But look at who Herbert's passing to, and look at who Stroud's passing to, other than Nico Collins. I mean, but there's nothing that anybody in the chat saying that I don't agree with. Like I agree with all of what you guys are saying. It's just
this is the best game on the card. Let's be honest.
This is going to be
the best
fun.
game in my opinion on the card.
Doug White says, I think the quarterback difference is a wide margin. There's been, sure, but he gets more help. But yeah, I don't know about wide margin. But I know you do, and I'm not saying you're wrong. All right. So yes, I agree with you. I agree with you that it's probably the Chargers. I also think though that the Raiders game helps me because everybody's going to be like, not everybody, but some people who believe what they saw are going to say the Texans are trash.
Yeah, but you just said that you agree that the Chargers are the spot. I thought.
Look, I'm still peeling. All I think is Herbert with the few minutes left will give the Chargers an advantage. But as a gambler, I have an advantage because people are writing off the Texans because of what they did against the Raiders when they couldn't care about that football game. No, so. And now you have Paramount. No, I'm not sure about the Chargers at this point. But I understand it. It.
What's the playoff implications for the Texans? I mean, they could still win. Both teams are fighting for division. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is going to be but isn't the total 39.5? Indoors, that's like, this is like a 36.5, man. That's what this is. Because we're indoors. And
Dougie White says
the history of this market too. Oh man, this is just a fascinating game, man. This is
let's hear what is the history of this market.
The history of this market. I mean, it's hilarious. I said the sample plays to the over, but if you look at the games that are, I'm looking at a spread between a field goal, right? +3 to -3. I'm looking at a total between 37 and 41. And if you look at the history, right, it leans to the over, but all the games, the 3 games that were played in a dome, all 3 of them went under. Not by much, but they went under.
Oh, if this under hits, it is a sweat from start to finish.
Yeah.
No comfort. Any pick six, any special teams. Speaking of special teams, in a game this close, let's take a look at the special teams rankings here for these two teams. We have the Chargers with the 3rd worst special team in the NFL, ranked 30th. And then we have these Houston Texans here with the 14th ranked special teams. So, all right. Yes, I like the under. I want the under. I like the under, want the under. Maybe I just leave it at that. But I find the Chargers are easier to get to. I just love the optics of what the Texans did last week. That appeals to me. And how far is this line going to move? Like if this moves, if you can get a +3 on the Texans at -122 at some point, wouldn't that be extremely appealing?
It'd be too appealing at that point. I'm already getting, the only reason I haven't bet it now is because we are looking at 2.5, and it is starting to move towards the flat 2.5 as well.
Well, this is a very exciting football game here. Let's roll on, though. Nothing official at this point, but I'm going to be moving on unders tonight.
I'm going to be. I already moved on one bet from the last game, and I'll probably be moving on.
That's also saying that we do think that Azeez Al-Shaair is playing. We do. I do.
Yeah.
So that, if we were to come to, Friday and they were like, Shaair is not playing, I would panic and buy out of it. So let's roll on here. Luke, no, we're not. We are not at this point. So we're in discussions with Kyle as to how we're going to do things, but no, this is it. After this, it's family and gambling, as is almost every holiday.
Those blend together so well.
Okay, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 8 p.m. Eastern with the Baltimore Ravens 7-8, 4-2 on the road at the Green Bay Packers 9-5-1, 5-2 at home at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is pretty interesting weather. It's 36 Fahrenheit. We have a rain and snow mix. We have a heated field and no wind. Now that could change. Why don't we take another look? Because I did the weather report last night. The wind could obviously change, but at this point, it's supposed to be, you have a heated field and no wind at all. So taking a closer look here, Saturday. Wow. Now it's not even supposed to be rain and snow. Now it's supposed to be just cloudy. Interesting. And the wind has come up a little bit, but not very much. So this is pretty good conditions for Lambeau this time of year. All right, let's get into it. Ravens, Packers. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Sorry, pull this up here. Okay, here we go. We have Green Bay right now, -3 or -2.5, depending on where you're shopping. Now this just moved back to Packers -3 54 minutes ago at the book that we're using in offshore for line tracking. The look ahead was a 3. It closed as a 3, reemerged as a 3. It moved to 2.5 on Monday morning at 11:24 a.m. It started moving even at the 2.5 number towards the Ravens, and then it stopped tonight, Tuesday night. So we're back at 3. Obviously, there's implications as to who will be at quarterback based on that. This total is a 40.5. It opened up, or the look ahead was 46.5. It opened up at 40.5. It's not moved a cent, which maybe tells you there's more questions here. Turnbuckle Tommy says this is a Packer spot in his opinion. Lamar's obviously not healthy, whether he's playing or not. He's not the only one that's not healthy. Both quarterbacks for the Packers are not healthy. So there's a lot to figure out here. Let's take a look at the cash flow. We have 71% of the tickets on Green Bay and 54% of the cash. 87% of tickets on the over and 69% of cash on that over. It's not moved at all. The Ravens are at the Steelers next. Now, the Ravens have to win this football game. The Steelers have to lose at Cleveland. And then we have the all-important final game in Pittsburgh. So here we go. Let's talk about the Ravens. I don't think... No, also, another important thing here is that this sucks. Look, any gambler who has money on the Ravens, at any moment, Lamar Jackson's going to leave the football game. I don't think you can have futures on the Ravens ever again. You can't trust his health. You know, he has a back injury where he basically said today, I think I'm going to be okay. Well, if you were going to be okay, your whole season was on the line. Now, it's not fair for me to say anything because I don't know the extent of it, but I just think that some guys can go back out there at times, and it's not fair for me to say. So, Turnbuckle Tommy says, I trust Malik Willis over Huntley. Malik Willis is hurt. So, we don't know what the hell is going on. So we don't need... Well, let's talk about the Ravens' statistical profile. Passing offense ranked 24th. Rushing offense ranked 19th. Red zone offense, third worst in the NFL, scoring touchdowns 45.3% of the time. Third down offense, 16th in the NFL, converting 39% of the time. Pass defense is ranked 10th. Rush defense ranked 9th. This red zone defense, very strong, allowing touchdowns just 50.9% of the time. Third down defense, very strong, ranked 7th, allowing conversions 36.1% of the time. And it's the third worst pass rush in the NFL. They come in off a 28-24 home loss to the Patriots that combined with the Steelers' victory, Detroit has them on the brink of elimination. The Ravens entered the season 22-3 under Harbaugh in primetime games at home. They're 0-3 this season. Baltimore went 3-6 on its home schedule. You want to hear this, Troy? That's the worst home record in franchise history.
Wow.
Noise canceled score was 30-24 Patriots. Patriots outgained the Ravens 453-330. Lamar Jackson was 7-10 for 101. No touchdowns, no picks before leaving with the back injury. He's considered day-to-day with the back bruise. He said he hopes to play Saturday on the road against Green Bay. I expect him to play. Will he play the whole game? Look, I mean, you can never answer that. Tyler Huntley came in and was 9-10 for 65 yards. Was Tyler Huntley as good as him? Why did they stop running the ball with 12 and a half minutes left? I mean, there's just so many questions that I would like Harbaugh to answer. Zay Flowers caught 7 for 84. He also ran for an 18-yard touchdown. Derrick Henry ran 18 times for 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Statistically, they had great games, but they both lost fumbles. Ravens were 7-11 on third down, 2 of 3 in the red zone. The defense strong until the fourth quarter. Held the Patriots to 4 of 12 on third down, 1 of 3 in the red zone. The pass rush was stronger, 4 sacks, 10 quarterback hits. Marlon Humphrey had a pick. Andrew Voorhees hurt his foot. So Harbaugh said that he's day-to-day with a foot injury. So he thinks he can play. Awuzie was inactive. He's listed as questionable for this week. Let's talk about the Packers. Again, we'll go through the statistical profile, even though we don't know who's going to be a quarterback. Passing offense ranked 2nd, rushing offense 14th, red zone offense 14th. This is number one third down offense in the NFL. They convert 50.3% of the time. Very impressive. Pass defense ranked 2nd. Rush defense has been a problem at 18th. Red zone defense 25th. They allow touchdowns 61.9% of the time. Third down defense 12th. They allow conversions 38.1% of the time. This is the 8th ranked pass rush that we know is worse than that with the injuries that they're dealing with, like Micah. Packers come in off a tough 22-16 overtime loss at the Bears. Noise canceled score was much different. I've never seen it quite this different because of how high scoring the noise canceled score was. 31-26. 31-26 Packers. Jordan Love was 8 of 13 for 77 yards before leaving with a concussion. He didn't throw a pick or an interception. Malik Willis came in, was 9-11 for 121 and a touchdown. Also ran 11 times for 44 yards. They said that he had a wrist injury, but now they're saying it's a shoulder injury. Emmanuel Wilson had 14 carries for 82 yards. You know, coach said, look, nothing's wrong with Josh Jacobs. We were choosing to go with Emmanuel Wilson. Dubs led receivers was 5 for 84 and a touchdown. Packers were 6 of 12 on third down, but lost the game in the red zone. 0 of 5 in the red zone. They dominated time of possession, 38-57 to 26-13. The defense bent but didn't break until that very last play of the game. Allowed 400 in total yards, 6.7 yards per play, and they'd only given up 6 points until there was 2 minutes left in the game. I mean, is that the Packers defense so good, or is that the Bears offense just squandering opportunity after opportunity. Bears were 2 of 11 on third down, 1 of 2 in the red zone. Pass rush was nowhere to be found without Micah Parsons. No sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Christian Welch was hurt in this linebacker on a kickoff. I mean, he's a depth defender. John Fitzpatrick, we haven't been told, I don't know, but we expect he's torn his Achilles. And offensive tackle Zach Tom was inactive, listed as questionable this week. Take it away for us here, Troy, Torrance, Ravens, Packers.
Yeah, you hit on a lot of the points I wanted to, and I don't have a lot on this game right now. I just feel like I need to know the quarterback situation. It's so difficult to handicap this spot. Both teams are in must-win situations. The Ravens are more desperate than the Packers. We don't know who's starting quarterback on either end of the spectrum, and I feel like the game is priced the same. I feel like the game is priced exactly right for 2 combinations. Right, you either got Lamar versus Love. I think we'd be looking at a very similar line. And if we get Huntley versus Willis, I feel like it's the same line, right? So you can't even tell who's going to be playing quarterback based on how this line is currently priced. Makes it a problem for me. And I feel like the Packers really prove that they can be a competitive team with any combination of personnel. No Parsons, no Tom, no Love. It was no problem up until late in that game, and it speaks volumes about coaching and how LaFleur and Hafley are legitimate. And it also makes me question Harbaugh, Munkin, that whole staff over there for the Baltimore Ravens, because the signs of cancer are starting to show. Questionable run pass situation. You've got Derrick Henry on the bench after he just dominated. And the defense for this Ravens team has been strong, but they just cannot generate enough pressure to be elite, which is going to be a major problem in this matchup. We know Malik Willis and Jordan Love can deliver from a clean pocket in big ways. Malik Willis is coming off over 140 passer rating in his last game. I just don't know what I'm going to do with this game yet. This is really difficult. This is one I'm going to have to sit with. I'm going to have to watch this market develop, and I can make a more informed decision.
Let's just do a quick guess here. And this is no more than a guess. Let's just make that clear. I think that this game will be Malik Willis at quarterback against Lamar Jackson. That's a guess. Now, the last thing I want to do is make a bet on that right now, just because, unfortunately, I can't trust Lamar. I just can't trust that he's going to play hurt. But I do think Jordan Love gets through concussion protocol on a short week with Christmas holidays here. I mean, I think it's going to be very difficult for him to do that.
Very difficult. Short week. Yeah. It's tough.
So I think Dougie Wise might be right saying, if you like the Ravens, bet them now. But you want to make a bet on this game and have Lamar Jackson announced out?
And then you're looking at 4.5.
I don't know if I can handle that.
No, I don't think it would be 4.5. If it's Willis Huntley, I think we'd be looking at 2.5, 3.
I think if it's Willis Huntley, I think we're looking at the same line here. I think he's right.
I think he's right too.
I think he's right. I think this is but then again, Jordan Love is announced in, and you're the clown.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know. I think that we're probably better off waiting. But, Donut Silk says it's almost a guarantee, like a 10% chance based on the history for concussion protocol. I mean, are we better off just waiting until we have all the information? That's the question that needs to be answered here. Let's roll on. That was our Andrew G says, don't be the clown. That is a
good advice.
That is a derogatory term towards stand-up comedians. I'm not a comedian anymore, though. My career's gone, and I'm fine with it. Let's roll on. That is our Saturday night action. And Dougie White says, I don't think he's playing. The line would be 4.5 for 5 if Love was playing. I don't think. What if Love was in?
Love Huntley?
Yeah. Love Huntley is a 4.5, 5.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Love Huntley 4.5, 5. Maybe that low is 3.5. It's going through the 3.
Fireside says, really don't think it matters who's quarterback for the Ravens. We'll get consumed by Green Bay. That O-line versus that rush is not good. But Fireside, that the pass rush is not the same pass rush. This is a bottom. Is it fair to say, Troy, that the Packers have a bottom 5 pass rush right now with the injuries that they're dealing with?
Yeah, especially looking at what we just seen. I mean, they blitzed Caleb Williams. This is a Packers team that I believe, and let me just speak to it directly. Let me pull it up real quick. The Packers on the season have blitzed at a bottom 5 rate in the league, and they more than doubled. Well, they just about doubled their blitz rate with no Parsons on the field. So I think that's safe to assume that they Halfway does not trust his pass rush to get home.
I think it helps from a gambling aspect here that the Steelers-Browns game is on Sunday. I think that's helpful. It's helpful. I mean, I think you can expect the Ravens to go all in here.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's sort of a buy low spot, even though it's not like they looked that bad against the Patriots. They were just in control of the game. They were in control of the game with their backup quarterback in. They were up 10 points against a really good football team in the fourth quarter with their backup quarterback in. I mean, there's different ways of looking at it. And obviously, I'm high. Look, also, don't forget, Troy, I've got the Packers under 10.5 wins futures because they traded for Parsons, and I fade excitement.
I mean, are we going to get threes here? You got a 3 right now at Bet Online?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think the Ravens are the bet.
I think the Ravens are the bet, and I'm betting the 3 right now. I think they're the bet. I think they are the bet.
I agree. But, you know, we put one unit. No, it's not just, but we put one unit on it. This is
just one unit, yeah.
We put one unit on it, and then we kind of see where the chips fall.
I bet
and then she's saying, even
big.
Say what, Mama?
I just bet the 3.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I agree. But, you know, this is optional misery. And
I choose misery.
Well, I won't let you have that empty smile alone.
Let's go, Jimmy.
I'll join you. All right, let's move on to Sunday, December 28th. We start at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Arizona Cardinals 3-12, 2-5 on the road at Cincinnati Bengals 5-10, 2-5 at home. Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. 43 Fahrenheit, so it's warmer. 43 Fahrenheit, cloudy, and 13 mile per hour winds. Well, you know, I went 3-1 with these two teams last week. The first half over was a smash grab, but when I studied the Cardinals-Falcons game a little closer, because there's so many games going on, that the game statistically didn't, you know, it wasn't bad luck. I mean, I'm thankful to catch first half over. At that point, it looked like it was going to go over. But the Bengals money line, the Bengals -2, Burrow bouncing back in the team off a shutout. I mean, is that just not gambling 101? Even when it moved to 4, I mean, it's okay to complicate things and dive deep into things. But if you believe in a quarterback and he's embarrassed and angry and chews out his football team, look, if you believe in him, well, then you have to get paid on him the next week. And he was an absolute monster. But let's get into the line history here. We have and again, it's not even that. We have to back every team that gets shut out in the NFL from now on. At some point, maybe we can decide that it's not the right move, but
yeah, it's time to put it in that category.
It should be bet every single time, unconditionally. We have a total here of 45.5. 45.5. Look ahead was 46.5. Oh no, there was no look ahead. My fault. Sorry. This opened up at 46.5, dropped to 45.5. Of course, because they weren't sure who was going to be a quarterback. So no look ahead. From a side perspective, we have the Buccaneers -5.5, -107. They opened up at 5. It's a half-point move towards the Buccaneers here at 5.5. Aaron Gaza says, "Don't be scared of the number. Cardinals equals over." Well, yeah, I get it. You know, I've been betting it every week, but if again, I've had friends tell me that what I've been doing with totals with the first half and the full game and a full unit on them has helped them. It's helping them. It's helping their ROI. And it certainly saved me in this football game here. From a cash flow, or last week, from a cash flow standpoint, 93% of the tickets on Cincinnati and 70%, Jesus, they're saying it's a 7. When did this move to 7?
Yeah, this is a 7. I feel like it's been a 7, or at least since I've been. I haven't opened at 7. Oh shit! I see what you're looking at. Oh,
It's a 5.5 all offshore. There's a 5 at a sharp offshore. How could there be? Oh wait, no, I'm tripping. Sorry, I'm tripping. I'm looking at the wrong. Sorry, I'm tripping. I screwed that up. Sorry, it's a 7. My bad. Sorry, I was looking at Tampa Bay, Miami. My fault. The lack of sleep. So sorry. Let's go over this again, and I apologize. The look ahead was 5.5. It moved to 7 when it reemerged. It got up to 7.5, and then yesterday morning it got back to 7. So we have a 1.5 move towards the Bengals to 7. I apologize. I was in my head. I was thinking, okay, whatever. From a total standpoint here, we have a 53.5. 53.5. The look ahead was 51.5. It reemerged to 52.5 and climbed up to 53.5. So there we go. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to mess with you guys. So here we go. That's the Cardinals-Bengals line history. Let's get into it. The Cardinals have the Rams on deck. They don't care. Passing offense ranked 17th. Rushing offense ranked 22nd. Red zone offense ranked 22nd. Third down offense being great all year, ranked 5th in the league. They convert 43% of the time. Passing defense ranked 22nd. Third worst rush defense in the NFL. Red zone defense ranked 24th. They allow touchdowns 61% of the time. Third down defense ranked 19th. They allow conversions 39.9% of the time in the 28th ranked pass rush. Cardinals coming off a 26-19 home loss to the Falcons. Noise canceled score was 25-15 Falcons. Arizona's lost 7 straight. They've lost 12 of 13. Remember, they started the year 2-0. Brissett was 16 of 31 for 203 yards, touchdown, interception. He has a 1-9 record as the Cardinals starter. He took over in week 6. Elijah Higgins caught 7 for 91. Trey McBride caught 4 passes for 27 yards. That snapped his personal streak of 16 straight games with at least 5 receptions. That was an NFL record for a tight end. Michael Carter ran 11 times for 65 yards. Offense went 7 of 13 on third down, 0 of 2 in the red zone. The defense held the Falcons to just 4.7 yards per play. I want you to touch on this defense when I hand it over to you, Troy, because that was impressive. Now they're still terrible. They allow the Falcons to go 3 of 3 in the red zone, so that's but they held them to 4.7 yards per play. Held them to 9 of 19 on third and fourth down. Pass rush quiet once again. 1 sack, 4 quarterback hits. Denzel Burke had an interception. This team is an absolute mess. Inactives everywhere, especially key men like Jalen Thompson at safety, hamstring inactive. He's not coming back. Cornerback Max Melton heel. He's not coming back. A left tackle, Paris Johnson Jr., knee injury. He's not coming back. Then Garrett Williams leaves in the first quarter. He had to be carted off the field. Non-contact injury, torn Achilles. They haven't reported it yet for some reason. Rookie defensive lineman Walter Nolan with a knee injury. He was carted off in the third quarter. Now, it doesn't look like it's anything huge right now. They haven't announced anything. And then Josh Sweat. He hurts his ankle. First quarter, he comes back, and then he leaves again. Heavy injuries on the Cardinals front with a team that doesn't care. Now, you could say the Bengals don't care either. And Trey Hendrickson not coming back. They host the Browns next week. Passing offense ranked 12th. Rushing offense 27th. Red zone offense 9th. Third down offense 10th. Pass defense 27th. This is the second worst rush defense in the NFL, going up against the Cardinals' third worst rush defense in the NFL. This is the 27th ranked red zone defense. Pass rush ranked 29th. This team is bad with a great quarterback. Coming off 45-21 victory at Miami. Noise canceled score was 38-20 Bengals. Facing quarterback Quinn Ewers in his first NFL start, both teams averaged 6.7 yards per play. Quinn Ewers, in his first ever NFL game, averaged 6.7 yards per play against this Bengals defense. Burrow was 25 of 32 for 309, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Jamar Chase caught 9 for 109. Chase Brown ran 12 times for 66 yards, touchdown, caught 4 for 43 and 2 touchdowns. Bengals were 7 of 13 on third and fourth down and were a perfect 6 of 6 in the red zone. The defense allowed some big plays, but stiffened up when it mattered most. Held the Dolphins to 3 of 12 on third and fourth down, 2 of 2 in the red zone. Pass rush was quiet once again, 0 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Barrett Carter and Jalen Davis had interceptions. DJ Turner left in the second half with the sickness. He should be fine. Tight end Cam Grandy left with a clavicle injury. We don't know. Joseph Osai was inactive. He's listed as questionable this week. So, Troy, sitting with this game, this to me is, I think, a Bengals smash and grab. I think that, they run up the score again and feel better about themselves. They got 2 home games to put a bow on the season. Let's just go over quickly here these Arizona Cardinals, because yes, they're playing with heart at home, but is that just something that's only happening at home? They lost 40-20 at Houston. They lost 20-17 at Tampa. Now Tampa was a mess at that point. They lost 44-22 at Seattle. All of these games. So if you look, they've played 2 road games since November 9th. We trust them to care on the road, outside in the cold.
Is it going to be cold out? I thought it was going to be warm in this one.
Well, 43 Fahrenheit, warmer than usual.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're right. Yeah, warm. But I mean, this is an indoor football team. And then, let's look at that too. They played at Houston. It's too bad it's not freezing cold, because that would be helpful. But they played at Houston inside. They played at Tampa in the warmth. They played at Seattle. They played at Dallas. They played at Indianapolis, San Francisco, New Orleans. They haven't played a cold football game all year. It's too bad this isn't cold. But this is the coldest temperatures they've faced all year. So take it away, my man.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I don't have a lot of matchup X's and O's, but I do have a couple beautiful samples from the market efficiency database that say the home team covers a whopping 86% of the time. 12 and 2.
Wow, you're right. This weather has changed again. Wow, it's not. So look at this. So this is so tricky. I don't mean to interrupt. This is very tricky. I think we got to keep a very close eye on this.
What's that?
Because on Sunday, it's a high of 59. On Monday, it's a high of 26. This could change earlier than expected. The fact that it goes down 33, the high goes down 33 from Sunday to Monday, just means it should be kept. We should keep an eye on it. But you're absolutely right. Jim DeWinger said 62. I was like, I don't have that. I have 43. The weather is an absolute mess. I had 43 Fahrenheit this morning, and now we have 50 on the same site. It is 59. So this is moving quickly. So let's just keep an eye on it. Sorry, Troy, take it away.
I mean, so here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a very favorable market for the home team, especially late in the season. Really, only late in the season is this age. Like I said, 12 and 2 ATS, 14 and 0 straight up. This price range, late in the season, not on prime time, which does matter in this case, in my opinion, because you're not going to get that elevated effort from the road dog in this situation, in my opinion. And I think it's clear as day what this market's telling me, except when you actually dig into the sample, you'll find that none of the home teams, except for one, the Dolphins, have one game in this sample where there was a non-playoff team who at this point was kind of where they were 2 weeks ago, where they have a very long shot to make the playoffs, and they won that game 27-14. But this is usually a profile that's reserved for playoff teams. 100% through and through this time of the year. So it's a little bit tricky from that standpoint, but how could you not want to back the Bengals? How is Joe Burrow going to be stopped by this Cardinals team? After watching what Joe Burrow was able to do this past week, it does seem like a smash spot for the Bengals. And this Bengals defense, they have their problems. They have been able to put together good efforts. It was against Quinn Ewers this past week, so I don't know how impressive that is, but this has to be Bengals or pass. I have not moved on it yet, but I'm right there considering it just based on this market alone. Because I would consider this to be an outlier market, right? The home team's winning by 18 points on average. These are blowouts I'm looking at. And I would expect a non-playoff team in this type of spot to do just that.
This is – God, I wish it was cold. Damn it.
Right.
But I think that it's easier for a team with nothing on the line, playing out a string. Everyone's given up on them at home. Much easier. You get them out on the road, and all of a sudden they're like, good God, do I want this season to be over?
Yeah. And they haven't played outdoors since Tampa Bay in late November, and that's in Florida.
Oh, they haven't played. They've had no weather games at all year.
Bro, almost all their road games, dome, outdoors in Florida, outdoors in Seattle. They got clobbered, looked terrible. Then in a dome, another dome. Like most of the road games are in domes.
And the Wager Tech says Cardinals defense, better than Miami defense. Sure,
close,
but it's very close. But what was the difference? Was Miami's defense was at home, Cardinals defense was at home. Now the Cardinals defense is going out on the road. I think
And the last time Joe Burrow played a home game, he got blanked.
Oh, he's going to want to. This is a smash. Bengals double result. Bengals -7. I'm betting it. And also Bengals team total over. It might be too high. I'll look at it because he's not going to need to. Maybe this is instead. Actually, how about this? How about this instead? Bengals double result. Bengals full game and Bengals first half. I've been barely betting those. Instead, I've been betting just the double results. This is the Bengals are playing for their stats. We're seeing it. Wow. Okay. How public are they right now? Sorry, this because it must be very public. They're very public. 93% of the tickets. Very public, but
64-68 on action.
That's a little better. Okay. I'm gonna bet the Bengals 3 ways. And Vince Hawkins, the Bengals team total over. I agree with that. I kind of maybe would rather have the first half team total over, but that doesn't even fully make sense because you really want to tire out that Cardinals defense on the road. So I get it, Vincent. I don't know if it's just such a high total and it's a big favorite.
What is it? What is the total?
I'll grab it.
What is the team total?
Here. I mean, we're talking about a 53.5, which is extremely high. So
30.5, 31.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get why anybody would be on it here.
It just feels like a game that could land on 6 too. I feel like the back door will kind of be open, so maybe team total is the right play, but it's
I want this weather to change, and it's possible that it does. It's possible that it does here. So when we go to Sunday, it's not supposed to change until 9 p.m. to get, and from it's a 20 degrees difference from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll see. Okay. Wager Tech says historically Cardinals play Bengals inside the number in losses. Wager Tech, could you cut that down to the end of the year when there's nothing on the line? I know it would make the sample size really small, but I do think.
What was the metric you brought up?
He says historically Cardinals play Bengals inside the number in their losses. All right. I know what I'm doing. Troy, is anything official here for you?
Not yet.
Okay.
But there will be, I will probably be on the Bengals.
It's a very public spot. And I do bet them once in a while. Not afraid of them. Let's roll on. 1 p.m. Eastern. The Pittsburgh Steelers 9-6, 4-3 on the road. The Cleveland Browns 3-12, 2-6 at home. Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland, Ohio. 37 Fahrenheit, light rain, 17 mile per hour winds. And the Steelers will not be looking ahead. All they have to do is beat the Browns, and they win their division. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Shedeur looking better and better. This total dropping fast. The look ahead was a 35.5. The look ahead at 365 was a 34.5. It did get bet down to 34.5 as the look ahead, but it reemerged right at that 34.5. Got down to 3.5, 33.5. Got back up to 34.5. It moved today, just before 5 p.m. Eastern, back to 33.5. Extremely low score. I mean, that's just so low. I love low totals. I don't know about this one. There's a line move towards the Browns. Fascinating one. The look ahead was 4.5. It got bet down to 3.5. It reemerged at 3.5. Quickly got up to 4.5. Now we have a 3. God, I'm late. There's obviously a belief that the Steelers won't be able to handle this pressure, or the fact that the Browns have no pressure and this is their Super Bowl. Cash flow wise here, we have 51% of the tickets, 69% of cash on the Browns. Moved to 3 everywhere. Oh, no, there's a couple 3.5s. Over at Circa, it's all Browns money coming in. 75% of tickets, 81% of cash on the Browns. Wow.
So, 25% to bets, 26% to tickets on the Browns on action.
That makes sense, yeah. Wow.
That does make sense, right? That's the split I expect to see. The sharper bettors on the offshores are probably betting the Steelers, probably betting the Browns and vice versa on the public shops.
Yeah, this is a fascinating spot here. But, I mean, look at what happened with the market moves last week. So let's talk about the Steelers. Passing offense ranked 21st, rushing offense 20th. Now we know that both are playing at a much higher level than their season-long statistical profile. Red zone offense 9th. They score touchdown 62.2% of the time. Third down offense 11th. They convert 40.2% of the time. Passing defense ranked 16th. Rush defense 13th. Red zone defense 8th. Third down defense been a problem all year, 29th. Their pass rush is ranked 3rd. Steelers coming off their third straight win, a massive 29-24 victory at the Lions. Noise canceled score was 33-31 Lions. They secured their 22nd straight season with at least a 500 record, breaking the NFL record it previously shared with the Dallas Cowboys, who had a 21-year run without a losing season from 65 to 85. Tomlin, 500 or better in every one of his seasons, and he does it again. Aaron Rodgers was 27 of 41 for 266 and a touchdown, no interceptions. He's having fun out there. I like what he said to Aiden Hutchinson. Like, he's just having fun out there. You can tell he's happy. And he's playing well. Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren were monsters. They combined to run the ball 23 times for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, catch 7 passes for 86 yards and a touchdown. Steelers outgained the Lions 481 to 361. That 481 was a season high. Steelers went 10 of 18 on 3rd and 4th down, which allowed them to dominate time of possession 34-06 to 25-54. They did struggle in the red zone going 0-3. Unfortunately, DK Metcalf had that altercation with a fan during the game. Just stupid. It just always blows my mind that any of these stars care what some dude thinks. I mean, it's just shocking to me. If I'm making that much money, even now, I don't make any money. And you can say whatever you want to me. I never emote, ever. You can say anything you want. If you're a stranger, say anything you want to me. You're not going to get any emotion from me whatsoever. Even if it's the most horrible things, I'm just going to sit and stare at you. Teams combined to go 1 of 7 in the red zone. The game still somehow went over. Steelers completely shut down the Lions' ground game. Held Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery to 16 yards on 11 carries. 230 to 15 advantage on the ground. Held the Lions to 7 of 17 on 3rd down, 1 of 4 in the red zone. Pass rush had 3 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, despite playing without TJ Watt and Nate Herbig. Nick Herbig? What the hell is it? Isaac Sumalo and cornerback James Pierre were also inactive. Cornerback Brandon Eccles groin left the game in the second quarter. All of those guys are listed as questionable. Let's talk about these Cleveland Browns. What a big game. Leonard Welch says Tomlin shits the bed in games like this. They have the Bengals on deck. They don't care about that. They only care about this. This is the lowest ranked passing offense in the NFL, but we know it's different with Shador. Second worst rushing offense in the NFL. Well, it's going to get worse without Judkins. Now, we'll get into the injury report. Red zone offense ranked 21st. Third down offense ranked 29th. They're only convert 33.3% of the time. Pass defense 15th. Rush defense 2nd. Red zone defense 19th, 59.1% of the time. I was very disappointed with the rush defense against the Bills. Third down defense ranked 10th. Pass rush ranked 1st. Browns coming off a 23-20 loss at home to the Bills. Noise canceled score 24-19 Bills. Browns outgained the Bills 294 to 259. Shador was 28-29 for 157 yards, touchdown, 2 picks. He also led the ground game, running 4 times for 49 yards. Raheem Sanders rushed for 42 yards on 11 carries. Quinshon Judkins, of course, dislocated right ankle, broken fibula. Travion Williams led receivers with 4 catches for 38 yards. Browns went 8 of 14 on 3rd down, 2 of 4 in the red zone. Browns dominated time of possession, 35-23, 24-37. Defense was strong. They held the Bills to 2 of 10 on 3rd and 4th down and 2 and 3 in the red zone. Pass rush finished with 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, half sack for Gary. He's got 22 now. Just needs 1 more sack in the final 2 games to break the single-season record of Strahan and TJ Watt. He only had 1 pressure in 22 pass rushes. Isn't that amazing? Deion Dawkins, what a beast. Deion Dawkins, we'll get into it in the Bills game, but Deion Dawkins had Garrett 18 times and allowed 1 pressure. And Stefanski said that Samson is improving by the day. Samson is expected to play, which would help this run game quite a bit. Take it away for us here, Troy. Steelers, Browns.
I have some problems with this game. So, first of all, this is a market, home dog, +3, +3.5, low total, where you typically wouldn't find me caught dead with any money on the Browns in this spot. But this is a little bit different because I feel like the line movement we're seeing is not predicated on, and the line we see itself right now is not predicated on sharp or public sentiment. I think Luca in the chat was calling it out. I think the line movement towards the Browns is a hedge for if the Ravens don't win on Saturday. So that's something to be taken into account. And I think we'll see this line trickle up to 4, 4.5, or down below 3, depending on what happens in that Ravens game. So you're playing with fire by betting this game. And if you're betting the Ravens, then you might want to be back in the Browns right now. Or excuse me, if you think the Ravens are going to win, you might want to wait on the Browns, and vice versa. If you think the Ravens are going to lose, you might want to wait on the Steelers. But then they'll be sitting pretty much everybody because this game won't matter none. This is just a market. I struggle to back the home team, and the Steelers pass rush has completely fallen off a cliff. They only got a 38% pressure rate on Goff, despite a 43% blitz rate. That shouldn't matter really, because every team that faces this Browns offensive line generates 40% or more pressure in their game. And it's hard to imagine the Browns have success through the air, but the Browns should be able to run the football, right? I mean, they just ran it for 5.2 yards per carry against Buffalo, but that's against a bottom 3 run defense. And it's really hard to gauge where the Steelers run defense is because they held the Lions to 15 total rushing yards on 1.3 yards per carry. Now the Browns won't abandon the run like the Lions did, but still a quality data point to consider. And then you parlay that with Judkins being out, and it's hard to imagine the Browns find success. And it's not like I'm saying that anything that's a hot take, right? The total's 34. And it's not like I think the Steelers are due for a big offensive performance, but look at this Browns defense over the past few weeks. And I know a lot of it's in games that don't matter, whereas this is probably going to be treated as a Super Bowl of such. But the Bills, 24 points, 55% success rate. The Bears, 31 points, 41% success rate. Titans, 31 points. I mean, I wouldn't, early in the season, we would not be seeing these type of outputs, production from these offenses against this Browns team. So I just can't believe that I don't know what I'm going to do in this game. I know that people are probably shocked I'm not automatically backing the Browns in this spot. Steelers have a chance to win the division. Unfortunately, there's way too much action on the Steelers in this spot because when you look at the public on the road team with these low totals, the profile does start to edge much closer to 50-50 ATS. Then you start to think, what about the mob shit? What do the bookies want? What's good for the pockets of the NFL? Do they want a playoff game in Week 18 between the Steelers and the Ravens? Do they want the Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings divisional games in Week 18? Do they want them to matter? Absolutely. I smell mob shit all over this game. And makes me want the Browns, but I haven't bet it yet.
I think part of the reason why I think gamblers just want the Browns at +3 in case the Ravens lose. They want some money on it. Because Ravens lose, what is this a pick 'em or are the Browns favorites?
Browns favorites. Or pick. I don't see moving past the pick. Actually, I don't know. I don't know the back.
So that's the thing. TJ says Steelers once again undervalued. Just continue to back the -3 is best number we'll see. Look, if you have the Steelers -3, you better be cheering heavy for the Ravens. Heavy, because that's the only way you're getting CLV. So. That's tricky, man. I think that gamblers just want a position on the Browns at 3.5 or 4 in case the Packers win. Oh, that adds such an element of difficulty. The Ravens are dogs in Green Bay. God, which I still think Lamar's going to play. But again, trusting that. So if I think Lamar's going to play and the Ravens will win, then I don't want the Browns at this number.
Right.
So that's the whole thing. That's what everybody has to figure out. And maybe you could make that decision during the game too. Dougie White says the NFL would love a Steelers-Ravens winner-take-all game. Oh, he's right. And that's what you're talking about with the mob shit. Okay, so we know the situation here. We know it, and we have to work within it. So this whole bet is predicated on what do you think is going to happen in the Ravens-Packers?
Yeah.
Huh. And then the total at 33.5. I mean, there's no chance Rodgers plays with nothing on the line. Zero chance. He's resting for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine a lot of people are resting in that case. No Warren, no DK.
Well,
no
DK
Rodgers.
suspended for 2 games, so we know that.
That's right.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, is there a chance that the Ravens win and the Browns it stays at 3?
No.
Yeah, probably
No,
not.
I don't. I don't think it moves that far off of it.
Yeah, 3.5, 4.
Wow. Very, very, very tricky. Very tricky. Okay, let's roll on. We move on to 1 p.m. Eastern, the New Orleans Saints. Now we can talk about Saints-Titans.
Yay!
Saints 5-10, 2-5 on the road. Titans 3-12, 1-7 at home. We're at Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee. 50 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 12-mile-per-hour winds. Let's get into... And Donut Silk says temps are supposed to drop 20 degrees during the game. So that's what I think is going to happen. What am I? What am I? Weatherman? That's what I think could happen in Cincinnati. And we should keep looking at the weather report each day. But I'm smashing Cincinnati anyways. I'm going to be on public side here and deal with public consequences. Saints Titans. Let's get into the line history here with the Tennessee Titans at +2.5. +2.5. Opened up at +2. Or sorry, look ahead was +2. It got to 2.5 on the look ahead. Reemerged at 2.5. And is at 2.5. Since its reemergence, moved 6 cents towards Tennessee because the +2.5 wasn't that real. It was a +102 for Tennessee. So it really has. It's moved 6 cents towards Tennessee since the reemergence, but that's not that big of a deal. Let's get into the total here for this one. From a total side of things, we have a 39, flat 39, -115 to the over. The look ahead was 39, got up to 40, back to 39, reemerged at 38.5, dropped down to 37.5, and then something happened. Something happened after midnight, so Monday morning, Sunday night, where this total went up 3 points. That's a big move. It's a big move because it's not player related. That's a big move. All right, let's roll. Saints, Titans, Nissan Stadium. We're going to start with the Saints. Play the Falcons next. They're just playing good football. They just care about each game. There's no look at spots. Passing offense ranked 15th. Rushing offense 32nd. Red zone offense 32nd. Scoring touchdown 40% of the time. But Shuck is 4-3 as a starter. Third down offense ranked 14th, converting 39.8% of the time. Passing defense ranked 11th. Rush defense 14th. Red zone defense 11th. Third down defense 4th. That's a pretty good statistical profile. It's a pretty good defense. Pass rush ranked 23rd. Saints coming off their most dominant win of the season. 29-6 at home over the Jets. Noise cancel score was 24-8 Saints. Saints outgained the Jets 412 to 195. Shuck was 32 of 49 for 308 yards. Touchdown, no picks. He went over 300 yards for the first time. Chris Olave led receivers with 10 catches for 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Taysom Hill had one of those games for the man. 35-year-old guy. Runs 12 times for 42 yards, catches 4 passes for 36 yards, and threw a 38-yard touchdown pass. He did lose a fumble, so should be statistically accurate. But so he is now caught for 1,002 yards in his career. So Troy, he is the first player in the Super Bowl era to have more than 1,000 yards passing, rushing, and receiving. Taysom Hill. 8 of 17 on third down, but 0 of 3 in the red zone. The Giants held the Jets to just 2 of 15 on third down, 0 of 2 in the red zone. Pass rush looked dynamic. 8 sacks, 9 quarterback hits. Cameron Jordan, 2 sacks. He's 130 in his career. So he is now 17th in NFL history. He passed Ricky Jackson, Hall of Famer. He has a team-high 8.5 sacks this year. He's had at least 8 sacks in 9 seasons. He doesn't have a contract for next season. He's going to get one. He wants to play. He had a bunch of family out. He wants to play. And why wouldn't he? This team's moving in the right direction. Sanker had an interception. Foster Moreau hurt his ankle. He went to the locker room. We'll have to see on tomorrow's injury report. And the defensive tackle Brian Bressie hurt his knee in the third quarter. He also went to the locker room. Vincent Hawkins says this game goes over. Well, let's talk about the team hosting this event, the Tennessee Titans. They have the Jaguars on deck. They don't care. They want to win this game. Passing offense, well, I want to win this game. We use that with a grain of salt. Both teams would like good draft picks, but Kellen Moore, I think McCoy wants a few wins, and Kellen Moore wants wins. But passing offense ranked 29th, rushing offense 24th, red zone offense 19th. This is the worst third down offense in the NFL. They only convert 32% of the time. Passing defense ranked 25th, rush defense 8th, red zone defense 26th. The red zone defense is bad. They allow touchdown 62.3% of the time. Third down defense 22nd. allowing conversions 41.1% of the time, and the 16th ranked pass rush. Titans coming off their first home win in more than a year. 26-9 victory over the Chiefs without Mahomes. They had lost 11 straight. Noise canceled score was 32-10 Titans. They outgained the Chiefs 376-133. Cam Ward was 21-28 for 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's the highest passer rating of his season. And he overtook Marcus Mariota for the most yards passing by a rookie for the franchise. Tony Pollard ran 21 for 102. That's 3 straight 100-yard games. And Ayo Manor. Medicine Hat Alberta boy. He led receivers with 3 catches, 58 yards. Titans went 9-17 on third down. They dominated time of possession, 38-1 to 21-59. 3-4 in the red zone. Completely shut down the Chiefs. Held the Chiefs to 3.1 yards per play. Held them to 1-9 on third down. 0-1 in the red zone. Pass rush had 4 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Marcus Harris, quarterback, could be hurt. They'll have to see on tomorrow's injury report. He left with a knee injury. We'll find out tomorrow. And linebacker Cedric Gray was inactive. List is questionable this week. Take it away for us here, Troy. Saints, Titans.
This is a bit of a ridiculous, awkward configuration in this game. You got the Saints coming off 3 consecutive wins in impressive fashion. The Titans winning 2 of their last 3. 2 of those wins against the worst teams in the NFL. But you look at this market, talk about mob shit. What happens in this market, I mean, is ridiculous. Spreads that between 2.5 and 3, low total, line moving towards the road team or towards the home team. The home team is 8-2 ATS, but only 6-9 straight up. 6 of those games landed on 3 exactly, and 3 of those games landed on 1 or 2. That's insane. I've never seen such a tight distribution around this. I have no interest in this game. X's and O's put me on the Saints. Market puts me on the Titans. Motivation can't be deciphered. This is clear pass for me.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the Saints are playing good football, but I mean, you have a chance to sell the Saints high. Now, the Saints have proven that they can go out on the road and win. A wager detective on the Titans plus 2.5. I mean, God. I mean, the Jets are the most hapless football team playing right now. They're worse than the Raiders right now. So I don't know how much we should put into that 29-6 win. And then we have the Titans coming off beating up on the Chiefs. Maybe the Chiefs are the most hapless team in the NFL without Mahomes. So wager detective wanting the Titans heavy. This is not a fun one. I'm very interested in the injury report tomorrow, though, for the Saints. And then we have a couple of cappers that like the over. I think it's probably worth just touching on one more time. It's a sharp number, but Troy, what happened was there was a 37.5 at 11:08 p.m. and then that was on Sunday night, and then at 1 a.m. it went up to 40.
Mm-hmm.
There was no injury information. There was no games being played to predicate that.
Yeah, the totals that open between 37 and 38 and close between 39 and 41, 9-2 to the over since 2022.
These offenses are playing well, playing better than they played. God, I don't know if I want to go back to it, but TJ says this is his favorite bet. He's going to tweet out now, give it out on PubHub. Saints team total over 20.5. I figure if the Saints hit their team total, then this game goes over. Gerald Jones says Saints under team, Titans over team. I really think that we shouldn't put too much into their full year statistical profile. Shuck is playing at a high level. Ward will be at home. They're coming off of a win. What do you think? So, I mean, the market efficiency database likes it. Do you like it?
I just feel like I could be hosed by mob shit, and I don't like that feeling.
Well, was that team trying to get a higher draft pick?
Well, yeah, either that, like both teams that are, I guess the Saints are trying to win, obviously. I don't know about the Titans and with the total. Like, okay, every time there's a big play, okay, let's throw a flag out there. Why not? No one's watching this piece of shit game.
Do you think that Mike McCoy has a chance to be the coach next year? Because if he does, he needs to win this game.
I think so. After what we've seen.
I think the over is an interesting look.
It is. I think the over would be the way I bet this game if I were to bet it. But then you look at the cash flow on action, you see just everyone piling in on the over.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would people want a Titans over?
Because they've been scoring.
Okay.
Wait.
Let me just go over to
Yeah.
action one more time here. Gerald Jones has this. It's right at 40. So this 83% of the tickets on the over and 94% of cash on the over. Wow. I guess I got to pump the brakes then. But all Circa's done is lifted it up 38 to 39 to 39.5. Dougie White says Titans have their quarterback, so they may not be tanking. I don't think they are. I think that this is a spot where McCoy is trying his hardest to have a job. We saw the debacle when he coached the Browns. He wants another kick at the old can. All right, let's roll on. 1 p.m. Eastern, Jacksonville Jaguars 11-4, 5-2 on the road. Indianapolis Colts 8-6, 6-1 home Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I was very wrong about the Jaguars. Very wrong about them. And I'm going to bet their season win total under next year because it's going to be the same as the Texans after that great year, the Commanders after making it to the NFC final last year, I believe. But we'll have to see. But I'm setting up a big bet on the Jaguars under their win total. We're at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. I mean, this Colts defense is absolutely horrific. Their secondary right now, without Sauce and without Travarius Ward, is an absolute mess. And now they're not going to make the playoffs, and it's not going to change. The total is a 48. Is that high enough? There was no look ahead. It opened up 46.5, went to 47.5, now 48. I don't know if that's high enough because the Colts can't stop anything. And, Rivers having some fun out there. The Colts opened up plus 6.5. It's basically 6.5 now. You could get the Jags minus 6.5 juiced, or you get the Colts plus 7 juiced, if that's what you'd like. So let's get the cash flow here. From a cash flow perspective, we have 91% of the tickets, 88% of cash on Jacksonville, 6.5s across the board, the legal books, 75% of tickets on the over, 64% of cash on the over. Jim Dewigger on the over. I get it. Let's talk about the Jags here, hosting the Titans next week. Passing offense ranked 8th, rushing offense 24th, red zone offense 12th, third down offense 21st. But they're playing at a higher level right now. Trevor Lawrence is playing at the best level we've ever seen him in the NFL. Passing defense ranked 6th. I'm shocked at this. Rush defense 11th. Everything else is kind of weak, but those are important spots. Red zone defense ranked 17th. They allow touchdowns 58.1% of the time. Third down defense ranked 24th. Allow conversions 41.5% of the time. And this is 21st ranked pass rush. Jaguars coming off an impressive 34-20 victory at Denver to snap the Broncos' 11-game winning streak. 6th straight win. Noise cancel score is much closer, 31-27 Jaguars. The Jaguars had outscored their previous 5 opponents 171-72. This team's running over other teams right now. The Broncos actually outgained the Jags 445 to 346. Trevor Lawrence was 23 of 36 for 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He also ran 6 times for 20 yards and a touchdown. We have Parker Washington led receivers with 6 catches for 145 yards and a touchdown. Jared says Jimmy ain't going to quit till he gets one over on the Jags. I haven't been betting their games. I mean, there are some things that I've been doing well this year. I've been more consistent. I know I'm coming off 4.5 unit loss on the week. And a horrible week's always right around the corner, waiting to stab you in the larynx. But at this point in the year, late in the season in any sport, there's teams that you're reading well and you understand very well, and there's teams that you're not. You should not be betting the games that the teams that you're not reading well are involved in. It's simple. Stay away from them. And I've only been doing it for, a month now, not betting the Jags games, but, it's helping, stay in your lane. Parker Washington receivers with 6 catches for 145 yards, touchdown. Etienne ran 16 times for 50, caught 4 for 16, touchdown. Now, the Jaguars did a lot of good things, but the Broncos pass rush sacked Lawrence 5 times and hit him 14 times. Jags went 8 of 15 on third down, 4 or 5 in the red zone. The defense bent but didn't break. Allowed 445 yards, 6.8 yards per play, but held the Broncos to 6 of 17 on third and fourth down, 1 and 2 in the red zone. The 21st ranked pass rush had 1 sack, 5 quarterback hits. Jones had a pick. Patrick McCarry, the right guard, hurt his back. It's important because Robert Hainsey was inactive. He's listed as questionable this week. If there's no Hainsey and McCarry, it's not good. Also, cornerback Greg Newsome hurt himself, so both are listed as questionable. We have to really see here. And TJ says, hope all you got your Green Bay tickets in. Just moved to 3s across. Yeah, TJ, we saw it move to 3 earlier, but God, I'm looking forward to that game. So, TJ, who do you expect to be a quarterback for the Packers? I'd like to hear that. Do you think Jordan Love's going to get a concussion protocol, or do you think it's going to be Malik Willis? Short week, concussion protocol is tricky. So, let's talk about our next spot on. You think Love will get out of concussion protocol? At this time of the year, it's possible. It's possible to get out after 6 days, but also it's tricky over the Christmas holidays. Not the doctors aren't as readily available. I'm sure they'll make sure that they are, though. Let's talk about the Colts. Colts are at the Texans next. Passing offense ranked 26th, rushing offense 8th, red zone offense 3rd, third down offense 8th, pass defense ranked 29th. God, they're horrible right now. We have, I feel you, TJ. I do think that it's going to be Lamar, though, but I don't know if he can make it through a game, and I don't know if we can. Rush defense ranked 21st, red zone defense ranked 10th, third down defense 26th, and the pass rush ranked 20th. Colts come in off a short week after a wild 48-27 loss at home to the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Noise canceled score was 32-23 49ers. The Colts have lost 5 straight and 6 of 7. Niners outgained the Colts 440-312. Phillip Rivers was 23 of 35 for 277, 2 touchdowns to pick. He was great. Good God, he was good. That interception was not his fault. Alec Pierce caught 4 passes for 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Johnny Taylor ran 16 times for 46 yards, touchdown, caught 3 for 33. He's being forced to do it with his arm because they take away the run. They're like, okay, old man, beat us. And Taylor's touchdown, though, gave him 17 rushing touchdowns on the year. That broke a tie with Hall of Famer Lenny Moore for the second highest single season total in franchise history. Colts were 6 of 11 on third and fourth, 2 of 2 in the red zone, but the defense looked horrible. I mean, God, awful. Let the Niners put up 6.7 yards per play. Niners were 8 of 12 on third and fourth down, 4 of 6 in the red zone. Pass rush had 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit. Bynum had the pick, which was lucky. And, no Braden Smith in concussion protocol and no Bernard Raymond. So we have missing offensive tackles. Then they lose Bortolini with a concussion on the 3rd offensive play of the game. I mean, at that point, you're screwed. Then they lost right guard Dalton Tucker to a shoulder injury in the second half. I mean, this is a mess. Troy Torrence, take it away. Jags, Colts.
This is just like you said, Jimmy. I mean, I'm not going to be betting this game because I do not have a read on this Jags team. It's time to throw in the towel. I'm going to cut my losses. I don't want to bet on them. I don't want to bet against them. I don't want nothing to do with them. But I will say I was wrong about Trevor Lawrence and the way he's kind of progressed here over the past few weeks. I mean, he's posted a passer rating above 110 4 weeks in a row. Now, 3 of those defenses are trash in the Jets, the Colts, and the Titans. But then you look at the Broncos, and he still had a great game. I mean, over the past 4 weeks, he's statistically the best quarterback. Cohen is in his bag, and he's certainly playing a massive role in helping Lawrence get over the hump. The offensive line has been above average. There's more than enough weapons at his disposal, so I could see why the offense is having success. There's no doubt about it. And obviously, Lawrence has all the intangibles. That's why he's the first overall draft pick. It's just, does he have the brain? Because it's so hard. It's so hard for me to imagine Trevor Lawrence just to continue this rampage of great performances. I know that he's still got that Geno blood running through his veins. I just can't sit back and buy the Jags this high in the market. I get it that the Colts defense is completely vulnerable. They just lost on prime time. Their defense looked terrible. They're on a short week. Old man at quarterback on a short week. It's easy to imagine that this snowballs and gets away from them. But then I know that Steichen and Phillip Rivers, I feel like they can make things work offensively. Their offensive line is too good. The weapons around Rivers, the plethora of weapons all over the field is too good. And I feel like the back door will be open in this game. So I'm not moving on it. I'm passing, Jimmy. I'm not going to be betting the Jags games anymore for now until the playoffs.
Well, my question is, and obviously I want to acknowledge that I try not to go right back to the well. But how if you believe in Phillip Rivers, and right now I do they want to get a look at Riley Leonard? Is it possible that now that the playoffs are over, they're like, hey, thanks, Phillip, we want to look at Riley Leonard?
I think that's totally a possibility. I think this total with Rivers at quarterback is too low.
Yes. But so do you agree that could come out in the next 2 days, that they want to give Riley Leonard a chance?
Yes, sir.
That's a problem because I want overs again. I want overs in all these Colts games with Phillip Rivers at quarterback, but maybe it's fine with Riley Leonard, although it would drop a bit. As I'm not going to bet a side in Jaguars games. So thank God, the Broncos -3 were on my short list too. But I haven't been betting them. But the overs, they're just smash and grabs right now. I don't even think, like, the Jags defense playing well, but we're in Indianapolis. Does anybody think that they might want to figure out Riley Leonard here and think? I mean, is there any? Because if it's not, let's see. Okay, yeah, we got to wait. Oh no. So some sites are saying, God, look at this. Some are saying that Riley Leonard is in. Okay, but now this site says that he said, okay, Phillip Rivers will be at quarterback. Okay, well, that's set. Phillip Rivers is at quarterback. They're not going to give Riley Leonard a look. See, they don't need to see it. And I believe that over should be bet. And bet tonight. And what would be an argument against it, Troy?
Against the over?
Yeah.
I feel like the total's too low. I feel like the 47 and a half, I feel like that's too low. And I feel like if there is a chance that we could see Rivers go on the bench for this game.
He's Steichen announced he's starting.
Oh, Rivers is in for sure. Then.
Yeah, announced he's starting. Confirmed.
It just seems so low.
He did a few hours ago.
This total just seems so damn low to me.
Huh. TJ said we saw Max Rivers. He can't do better, and he faced a very poor secondary. Yeah, I'm not talking about the side though. Yeah, no, I get it. I don't need him to play at that level to catch the over.
I mean, the Jags just put up 34 on the Broncos defense. Why is this total so high? Like if this total wasn't set high, then this number should be 9.5, 10. There's something tricky about this market. How
fast can the market change itself, Troy? Because the total was I bet a 46 last night against the 49ers, who have a much worse defense than the Jaguars. And an offense that's very good, but so is the Jags right now. I mean, how much better is the 49ers offense than the Jaguars without Ricky Pearsall? Isn't it similar? This line should be 47 if that line was 46.
I disagree. I don't think the Jaguars defense is elite by any sense.
No, but I think the 49ers defense is bottom 10 in the NFL statistically.
Yeah. 49ers defense is significantly worse.
And I think that the 49ers offense might be a little bit better than the Jaguars. So this is a right total to me. How could they can't put it at 49.5. Like, that's statistically irresponsible.
This feels short to me. It does. Like, I feel like we should be seeing a higher total than this. I mean, that Colts defense looked completely inept, and the offense has all the weapons, all the tools, a great offensive coordinator, a quarterback that's now in his third start. They're indoors.
And TJ said Jags are not going to show their best here. If they don't, it's not because they're over, because they don't have anything to worry about. They just have to win, put the pressure on the Broncos. So they're going to try to win. Then next week they host the Titans. So it's not like, it's not like a team in the AFC that they're battling with is going to be in. I think that this is the right number at 48 now. And I'm going to be on the first half over and the full game over again. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 7-8, 4-4 on the road. Miami Dolphins, 6-9, 4-4 at home. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. Birdie in the house. Great to see you, Birdie. He also likes that over there. The only thing that concerns me is, of course, cashing first half over and full game over last night. That's all. Just going back to the well is just it's not something I like doing. Let's get into the line history here for Buccaneers Dolphins. Here we go. We have a 5.5 for the Buccaneers. Opened up a 5, moved to 5.5. Half point move. The look ahead. There was no look ahead because they didn't know who was going to be a quarterback for the Dolphins. It is going to be Quinn Ewers. From a total standpoint here, we have the 45.5. This one opened up opened up 46.5. It's dropped a point down to 45.5. We get to the cash flow. We have 88% of the tickets on the Buccaneers, just 51% of the cash, 80% of tickets on the over, and 58% of cash on the over. So public on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, bigger bets are coming in on the Dolphins. The public is on the over, and bigger bets coming in on the under. Buccaneers hosting Carolina next, which could be a very big game, which we expect it to be a very big game, but the Buccaneers have to beat the Dolphins. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida, 79 Fahrenheit, partly sunny, 2-mile-per-hour winds. Gorgeous, no wind. Passing offense for the Bucs ranked 25th. Rushing offense, 6th. Red zone offense, 23rd, 54.6%. Third down offense, 12th. This pass defense is ranked 24th. Rush defense, 20th. This defense is bad. Bulls defense is bad. Red zone defense is the second worst in the NFL. They allow touchdowns 71.1% of the time. Third down defense is ranked 22nd. They convert 41.1% of the time, and we have a 9th ranked pass rush. So the WY says off that blowout versus the Bengals. How can we fade the Fins? I think we can just not trust them, and we'll dive in this a little bit more. The Bucs coming off a 23-20 loss to the Panthers with the season on the line. Noise cancel score is 23-21 Panthers. Third straight loss for the reeling Buccaneers. Man, Mike Evans, Jalen McMillan came back, and we thought it would all come together. It is not. It is not. Mayfield was 18-26 for 145 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He also ran 4 times, 49 yards. Still got the junkyard dog in him. Mayfield was 18-26. Emeka Egbuka led receivers with 1 catch for 40 yards. That's what led receivers. Bucky Irving ran 19 times, 71 yards. Bucs were 8 of 14 on third down, 2 of 3 in the red zone. The Panthers were 6 of 12 on third down, 1 of 2 in the red zone. The pass rush did have 2 sacks, 9 quarterback hits. It looks like Anthony Nelson, with his knee injury, we're going to find out a better idea why or what is going on here with the knee injury. We'll find out here shortly. So let's talk about the Dolphins. They have the Patriots on deck at New England. They don't care. We don't know what they care about at this point. Passing offense ranked 27th, rushing offense 7th, red zone offense 13th, third down offense 28th. Their pass defense ranked 21st, rush defense 15th, red zone defense 15th, third down defense 14th. This is the worst pass rush in the NFL. We have Miami coming up 45-21 loss at home to the Bengals in Ewers' first career start. We have noise cancel score 38-20 Bengals. Both teams averaged 6.7 yards per play. A lot of people going off about Ewers. But he threw for 260 yards. It was 17-14 at halftime. But, he got hurt in the second half. He's not taking any first team practice reps, barely any. He runs the scout team. Now he's getting the chance to be I'm interested. He was 10 of 12 in the first half. Things unraveled in the second half. Jalen Waddle led receivers, 5 catches, 72 yards. Achane ran 50 times for 81 yards. Touchdown, caught 3 for 9 yards. Dolphins were just 3 of 12 on third and fourth down, but did go 2 of 2 in the red zone. The defense looked awful. Allowed the Bengals to go 7 of 13 on third and fourth down, and 6 for 6 in the red zone. 6 for 6. Horrific. How can you let it? That's just pass rush had 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. Eskridge left with a toe injury. Fitzpatrick was inactive, and he's listed as questionable this week. Take it away for us, Troy Torrance, Buccaneers, Dolphins.
I moved on this game. So I have the Bucs double result for plus 120 in this game. I might be adding to this position. You got the Dolphins. You just got to refer to my prior handicaps. I talked about these teams. I feel like my handicaps hasn't changed with this team, both these teams, in a long time. The Dolphins are still dealing with their cancer. You got McDaniels, who's tripping on DMT. They can only muster up a 40% success rate in 3 scoring drives. They got into scoring range against the Bengals defense. And they allowed the Bengals, of course, to drop 45 points. They go 6 for 6 in the red zone. Ewers posted a 66 passer rating through 2 picks against the Bengals. And his passer rating without play action, so on straight drops, was a 37. 37. That includes screens. That's a terrible look. Completely inept in a straight drop. And this is a rookie that's not ready to deal with Todd Bowles and Todd Bowles' defense. Todd Bowles, 10-4 ATS against rookies, even better in the more recent history. And the Bucs, I know I've talked about their problems extensively over the past few weeks, but this is a team that's still hungry for a playoff berth. They still control their own destiny. They've lost 6 of their last 7 games. This will be the worst team they've faced since the Saints in Week 8, considering Ewers is at quarterback. The Dolphins are terrible in the trenches. Bucs should win the trenches on both sides of the spectrum. And I think we're looking at a very favorable market. I don't think there's anything not to like in this situation. Maybe you could argue that the number's a little bit short at 5.5, 5. And that would be the only argument you could possibly make. I'm buying low and selling low, quite frankly. Buying low on Tampa Bay, selling low on the Dolphins. And it's time to back the Bucs, finally. It's been a long time since I've been on them, and I'm back. I'm going back to it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't think at this time of year, I mean, I don't think it was an embarrassing loss either. I know that the Bengals ran up the score late, but 17-14 at halftime, Ewers looked pretty good. They're obviously letting go here. It's not like we're talking about a team that's coming off a shutout. It's going to be a very public spot. So in the market efficiency database, it's saying that a public spot with the line moving towards them, it's only a half-point move at this point. It's under 6. Is that a comfortable place to be? The public is
Yeah. It's definitely a comfortable place to be, especially late in the season. And if you want to filter it by cash flow or percentage of bets, percentage of cash, either way, I mean, this shapes up to be a pretty damn good spot as long as we don't cross through the 6, obviously, and close 5.5, 5, 4.5.
You mean go cross the 6 and come back?
I'm saying, like, if we didn't open at 6, 6.5 here.
No, open at 5.
Right.
So you're saying if it goes to 6.5 and then comes back to 5?
No, I'm saying if it had opened at 6.
Oh, okay. I feel you. So I think that backing the Buccaneers in this spot would correlate to the under.
Yes, it does.
Because they'll be playing a playoff type football game.
Honestly, if it wasn't 45, the 44.5 to 46.5 garbage, I probably would have already moved on the under. Profile is great for the under, and I agree. It does a matchup that plays to the under.
Because the Buccaneers are going to play this game like a playoff game.
Bucs are going to play it like a playoff game, and if the Dolphins want to play spoiler, they're going to be running the football a lot.
Why?
Outside zone, stretch, off tackle, sweep, jet sweep.
I tell you, I don't want to bet the under in a Miami Dolphins game, but the optics are right for this. They're right. The fact it's gone down 46.5 down to 45.5 for the public betting the over heavily. We just watched a game here at Hard Rock that, with how many points were scored? 66. Birdie says Dolphins team total under, also a decent look. Maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe you can take out the Dolphins giving up angle and it going over late. Because you're expecting this Buccaneers defense to start. It's not the defense's fault, but their statistical profile is not very good.
No, but I expect them to blitz heavy, and if you just look at it at face value, you'd be like, oh, Ewers is pretty good against the blitz. Yeah, well, it's 6 dropbacks, and all those dropbacks were against the Bengals defense, which I know the Bucs defense hasn't been great, but they're significantly better than the Bengals defense.
And let's, quickly here, because, Anthony Richardson says not with the Tampa defense. So let's just, dive a little bit deeper, because yes, their statistical profile is not very good. It's not very good. But let's just go over this. So they the Falcons touched them. But, they played in some decent games. I mean, they went to Detroit, held Detroit to 24 points. I guess there's not a lot to help me in this. I mean, they only beat the Cardinals 2017. But, I mean, if you look, so even the Falcons game was a problem. I think isn't it fair to say that the offense with all these stars is what's let them down, not the defense?
It's a little bit of both, but I would definitely say it's the offense. It's the offense that has fallen off. The gap between weeks, in weeks 1 through 7, when they were 5 or 6-1, the offense was performing off the charts. There's a wider gap between how the offense was performing now and, first back then. So, yeah, I would say it's the offense letting them down.
And I don't think Dougie Wise just points allowed is statistically accurate as we need. That's why I stopped using yards allowed and yards again. It's just not as statistically accurate as we need. I mean, Pro Football Focus has the Buccaneers just as a defense ranked 16th as a defense.
At 25 points per game, which would include 44 from Buffalo, 34 from the Rams. The Falcons got to them.
I think they're a little better than that number 24, 25. I mean, it's just, I think we're simplifying football. I think there's a danger and all that's happened to me is I've gotten more consistent. I'm not saying anything's that much better. I mean, my ROI is better. It's no doubt about it. I've got more consistent when I think that's just points and yards, gained yards. I think it's just not with the amount of analytics that we now have at our disposal that we need to go deeper, I think. And so you have no concern that the Bucs are public here. We move on?
No, we can move on.
Okay. Well, I'm interested. I do think that the line at this number, that the Dolphins team total under, is better than the full game under here. Yeah, Dougie Wise, again, like you have Bucs 22nd in sack percentage. I have them with the 9th ranked pass rush. Again, like there's so many different ways of getting there, and obviously the stats that you use have been working for you. We will all watch you cash, so no disrespect at all. All right, let's roll on. Next up, 1 p.m. Eastern, the New England Patriots 12-3, 7-0 on the road at the New York Jets 3-12, 2-6 at home. We're at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 41 Fahrenheit, light rain, 3 miles per hour. Again, and I can't stress this enough with what's going on Monday, how cold it is across North America, and Sunday it's warm. When is the 20, 30 degree drop off going to happen? At this point, they're saying it's Sunday night, but that could change. And so I think you need to keep looking at the weather, keep looking at it. The Patriots are hosting the Dolphins on deck. They don't care about that. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have these New England Patriots. The total at 43. It's juiced to the under slightly. We have the opening look ahead 44, got bet down to 43. It reemerged at 43. So all that's happened is there's been a 5-cent move to the under. Nothing too dramatic. From a point spread standpoint, we have the Patriots minus 13.5. Look ahead was 9, reemerged at 13.5, and it's just sitting there. Just sitting there. When we get to the cash flow, we have 82. It just moved more. 82%. I think it's 94% of the cash on the New England Patriots. We don't have information on the total at this point. The passing offense for the Patriots is ranked 4th. Rushing offense ranked 28th. Red zone offense ranked 26th. Third down offense ranked 7th. Passing defense ranked 4th. Rush defense 22nd. This is the worst red zone defense in the NFL. Has been all year. It doesn't seem to hurt them too badly. You expect it to hurt them in the most important games of the season, but they're being able to withstand it. 74.3% of the time, they allow touchdowns in the red zone. Their third down defense is weak. 17th. They allow conversions 39.2% of the time. Their pass rush is weak. Ranked 18th. The RB says this game goes over, similar to the Jags-Jets game a couple weeks ago. High spreads late in the year going over. Patriots coming off an impressive 28-24 victory at the Ravens to improve to 7-0 on the road in Mike Vrabel's first year coaching the squad. What a job he's done. They're a game ahead of second place Buffalo in the AFC East, despite losing the Bills last week. Noise canceled score was 30-24 Patriots. Patriots outgained the Ravens 453-330. Drake May was 31-44 for 380 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. He also ran 10 times for 25 yards. He fumbled twice, was fortunate to only lose one of them. And then in the fourth quarter, he stepped up 12 of 14 for 139 yards. Stephon Diggs had 9 catches for 138. Ramondre Stevenson had 8 carries for 51, touchdown, caught 2 for 27. Patriots went 4 of 12 on third down, 1 of 3 in the red zone. The offensive line allowed this weak Ravens pass rush to sack Drake May 4 times, hit him 10 times. Patriots defense bent but didn't break, allowed the Ravens to go 7 of 11 on third down, 2 of 3 in the red zone, but look, they won the game. Pass rush was quiet, 1 sack, 5 quarterback hits. Patriots lost Rookie of the Year candidate Travion Henderson when the running back left with a head injury in the second quarter. Defensive tackle Joshua Farmer injured his hamstring. Charles Woods hurt an ankle. Damari Douglas hurt his hamstring. Kiris Tonga hurt his foot. They're all listed as questionable this week. And Robert Spillane was inactive again. He's listed as questionable this week. He's not played now in a few weeks. Talk about these Jets. They're at the Bills next. They're falling apart. I mean, this is just ugly. Passing offense ranked 30th. Rushing offense 21st. Red zone offense 29th. Third down offense 27th. Pass defense 28th. Rush defense 10th. Red zone defense 21st. Third down defense being pretty good, 9th. Passing rush is ranked 23rd. Jets coming off an ugly 29-6 loss to the Saints. Noise canceled scores 24-8 Saints. Outgained 412 to 195. 2 of 15 on third down, 0-2 in the red zone. Offensive line was terrible. Brady Cook got sacked 8 times. Cook was 22 of 35 for 185 yards, no touchdowns, a pick. He also lost a fumble. They've lost 3 straight and 5 of 6, and Aaron Glenn has said that they're going to continue playing Cook to get a more complete evaluation of his potential. Isaiah Davis led receivers with 4 catches, 52 yards. Breece Hall ran 60 times for 54 yards. They're trying to lose. They just want the best pick possible. The defense allowed the Saints to go 8 of 17 on third down, but did hold them to 0-3 in the red zone. Pass rush, 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, and they set an NFL record going without an interception for their 15th straight game. Take it away for us here, Troy. We got a Patriots-Jets game at MetLife Stadium.
So this is a market that we talked about earlier with the Chiefs and the Broncos. These big home dogs late in the season, they don't cover, and we see this go flying over the total pretty frequently. Is that what we're going to get in this game? I'm not sure. I don't know what to think of Brady Cook or this offense. I want to watch some more tape on what the Jets have been doing. I probably won't do that at this point, to be honest. I think I'll just rely heavily on the database and the market history in this spot, and it makes me want to bet the over. But I do see this market dropping down from 44, from 43.5, depending on where you look at it. So it's not as clear as cut as the one that I bet earlier. I did move on the first half over. Right now, I just got the first half over, not a team total. First half over in the Broncos. Chiefs 18.5. I might be doing the same here. I just want to map things out a little bit more. But that's the way I'm looking.
So the fear then would be that the Patriots just take their foot off the gas.
Right, and that's why I did just the first half at this point. Patriots take their foot off the gas. The Broncos take their foot off the gas after getting out to a massive lead. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I can get there. I think that makes sense. We had the RBO2 saying the same thing about the over, and the only concern would be this game just falls asleep. Now, the Patriots here don't have a look ahead. They just have the Dolphins. But that was a really big win they're coming off of. But the Jets are just trying to lose. So I get it. Yeah, but you haven't moved on it yet. You're watching it drop?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with this spot. I just haven't moved on it yet. I haven't put too much handicap into this game yet. So I need to spend more time with this one.
And yes, I have the injury report right here. Of course, I have 2 different sites with the Patriots injury report. I mean, I went over all the injuries that happened last week. One thing that I kind of like waiting until that to really get a sense of things with week or Wednesday injury report. But let's pull up here. Let me just move over to the Patriots. We went over all the guys that got hurt in the Ravens game. They're all listed as questionable right now. But if we want to take a deeper look here at this New England injury report. So Farmer has been placed on IR. That must have happened after I did this. Milton Williams also could come back. I don't know what Milton will do, but they designated him to return from the injured reserve. Jared Wilson, who we talked about already, he's now in concussion protocol. So Tonga is doubtful. You heard his foot. And then they have all these guys, as always, questionable. It's an ugly injury report. I mean, there's a possibility that they sort of overlook the Jets. I think that first half over makes sense. We want to study it a little bit longer. All right, let's move on to our next spot on the board. 1 p.m. Eastern. We have the Seattle Seahawks 12-3, 6-1 on the road at the Carolina Panthers 8-7, 5-2 at home at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's get the line history out for this one. We have Seattle -7 at -110. This opened up, or the look ahead was a 7.5, and it closed there. Reemerged at a 7. The line immediately started moving towards the Seahawks. That -7 got to -125, and then 12 hours later it was -108. So there was definitely cappers moving on the Carolina Panthers here. Let's take a look, or at least the market responding to it. From a total standpoint, we have a 42. Look ahead was 42.5. Reemerged to 43. We've dropped a point down to 42. Cash flow wise here, we have 58% of tickets, 65% of the cash on Seattle. We have 85% of tickets on the over and 65% of cash on the over. That surprises me. Luke Burrow says initial thoughts, low total, too many spread points for Carolina. Carolina at home have to lean Carolina. Harold Williams leaning towards the Panthers. 67 Fahrenheit, hot. And remember, and I told you guys that it gets down to 35 the next morning. Jim Dewey is on the Panthers. The RB says Seahawks off the extra rest. Panthers must win next week. So let's set this one up for the Seahawks. Passing offense ranked 7th. Rushing offense ranked 2nd. Red zone offense 18th. Third down offense 23rd. This is it's a very complete football team. Pass defense ranked 7th. Rush defense 3rd. Red zone defense 7th. They allow touchdowns just 51% of the time. Their third down defense is 2nd. They only allow conversions 33.6% of the time. This pass rush is ranked 10th. Luke Burrow says Seattle has a big look-ahead game with San Francisco as well. That is true. They come in off extra rest and prep after the game of the year. 38-37 victory at home over the Rams. Noise-canceled score was 40-29 Rams. Darnold was 22 of 34 for 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Kenneth Walker ran 11 times for 100 yards and a touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba caught 8 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown. But there were problems. There were no sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Now you could talk about the Rams offensive line and how impressive it is. Mike McDonald also wanted to win. The Seahawks are the first team in NFL history to win on an overtime 2-point conversion. They're playing like they really believe. They believe in McDonald. They believe in all of this. They clinch a playoff spot. They moved in position for the top seed. They're in absolute business. Darnold is resilient. He keeps fighting. Smith Najigba is the number 1 receiver right now with Puka Nacua. They're pick your poison as to who you think is the best overall. And they let the Rams put up 37 points on them without Devontae Adams. They also lose safety Kobe Bryant, safety Nick Emawari, both the concussion protocol, and cornerback Reek Woolen. They have the extra time right now, so there is the expectation that both of the safeties will be back out of concussion protocol, but that is hugely, hugely important to find out. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers here. They have the Buccaneers up next, and they have sole possession of first place in the NFC South. 2 games remaining. They will have to, if they win against Seattle and Tampa Bay loses to Miami, they're in. Now, obviously, we don't think that they'll lose necessarily to Seattle. If the Bucs beat the Dolphins, that's all that has to happen. Bucs just have to beat the Dolphins, and then it's all on the line in the final game of the year, regardless of what Carolina does. The Panthers passing offense ranked 19th, rushing offense 16th, red zone offense 25th, third down offense 17th, pass defense 14th, rush defense 25th, red zone defense 14th. Their third down defense, third worst in the league. They allow conversions 45.8% of the time. Their pass rush is second worst in the league. The Panthers, and Aya saying Amanwari has already been cleared from concussion protocol. Seattle just did not go back on defense. Okay. Thank you, Ayas. That's important. The Panthers come in off the massive 23-20 win at home over the Buccaneers with the season on the line. Noise canceled score was right there, 23-21 Panthers. This team is playing very well. Canales says they all believe. He says the locker room is filled with hope and belief, and you see that. Bryce Young was 21-32 for 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Tet caught 6 for 73 and a touchdown. Now the Bucs were 8-14 on third down. We just went over it. We just went over this third worst third down defense in the NFL. Now the Seahawks third down offense is surprisingly weak, so maybe it won't hurt them too much. The Panthers were 6-12 on third down, 1-2 in the red zone. Pass rush had 2 sacks and 2 quarterback hits. The pass rush is a problem. The Seahawks do have the 49ers on deck. This is a fascinating spot here. Troy Torrence, take it away. Floor is yours.
I'm really close to moving on this spot, but I don't have a ton of support via the database because we've talked about these numbers multiple times today. The 6 to 8 range home dogs late in the season. It's not necessarily a great spot to back the home team. Now, if you remove the divisional aspect and you start to highlight teams that have gone from the West Coast to the East Coast or vice versa, you do start to find some favorable things. I want to dive more into the first half profiles because that's really what I want to do is I want to fade the Seahawks team in a sleepy spot going on the road, not on prime time off a massive divisional win. They got the divisional opponent 49er team on deck. I know they're coming off extended rest, and you could actually say the same thing about Carolina, coming off a massive divisional win. And if you look at the Carolina Panthers, they got a little trend going where they win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game. They've lost 4 games in a row coming off a win, and some of those were blowouts. Obviously, they're at the rest disadvantage. But now this is the only time. The only other time they played multiple home games in a row, they won. They beat the Cowboys as a home dog. I feel like this Panthers team has been a difficult team to handicap all season long. I mean, they're night and day from week to week. They beat the Rams, they beat the Packers, then they, get swept on the season by the Saints. They lose to Buffalo, they lose to New England. They get hammered by those 2 teams. And I feel like the Seahawks are on a team that I've been looking to fade for the most part, especially recently. I point out their strength of schedule. I feel like they should have lost this past week. I mean, that's not saying anything outrageous, but the question becomes, will the Panthers be able to find success in the running game? Because if they're forced to go toe-to-toe with the pass defense, I feel like they're in big trouble. Versus the Bucs, the leading rusher was Dowdle for 29 yards. Versus the Saints, the running backs averaged 3.2 yards per carry. The Seahawks run defense is top 5. They just held the Rams to under 3.5 yards per carry. And if they can't run, will they be able to find success in the passing game? I don't think it looks very promising. I mean, the Seahawks posted a 43% pressure rate against Stafford without blitzing. Bryce Young versus pressure, he's actually surprisingly good. 6th in the NFL in passer rating while under pressure. I mean, to me, it does remind me of a similar matchup we talked about between Carolina and the Rams in Week 13. The only difference is Stafford is significantly better than Darnold. And the Seahawks, and here's the problem with it. The Seahawks know that the Rams went on the road and lost this very game. So in theory, they should be more prepared for the situation, maybe less of a letdown spot. It's just another game that feels priced extremely close to fair market value, adjusted for noise. Are we getting a focused Seattle team here? I'm leaning towards the Panthers early. Maybe you can get a 4.5 right now. I think that's a pretty damn good number.
Why would the Panthers not sit anybody who's just a tiny bit hurt or their most important players on defense?
If they win this game and they win, or what happens? So what's the configuration?
Doesn't matter if the Buccaneers beat the Dolphins.
And this game starts later?
When
does this game start?
Oh, you're right. I think, sorry, this one starts at
noon. So they'll be playing at the same time.
Yeah, they'll be playing at the same time. I mean, this is a real problem. This game means nothing to the Panthers.
Really?
I mean, if they win, if they beat Seattle and the Buccaneers lose to the Dolphins, then they're in.
If they beat Seattle and the Bucs beat the Dolphins, don't they still get it? Don't they win?
No.
Or don't they win the division? No?
No, because they play next week. Buccaneers beat them.
No, the Panthers beat them.
I know, but they play next week. If the Buccaneers beat them.
Yeah, and they lost 2 games to the Saints.
Birdie says Canales said they will not be looking to score, but I don't think they're sitting anyone. No, I agree. Canales has said that,
Wait.
but I don't.
Are we
I
sure?
would say the same thing if I was the coach. I would say the same thing. This is tricky because the Seahawks have to keep winning and the Panthers don't. And if I was the coach, Birdie, I would say the same thing. I would say we're not going to look at scoreboard. We're going to go all out. We're not going to sit anyone. But I think that is it might be a mistake. I mean, it's not like Canales can go out and say, look, we're going to take it easy.
Yeah.
We got the game of the year on deck. So,
I mean, why wouldn't this number be bigger than 7?
It's a pretty big number. I know the Seahawks have extra S, but it's a pretty big number. I mean, okay, let's say it's 14-0 Seahawks. You don't think that some of these guys on defense sit?
I'm trying to read. I thought that if they won this game, that they would be in.
No, the only way they're in, and I've got it. I said it off the top here. Let me go back to it. Here, sorry. The only way they get in is if they win. And God, sorry, shit. Too many pages of notes here. I just blow past it. They will win the NFC South with a win over Seattle and a Tampa loss to Miami. So, all right. Mozenia says, does this matter for either team? This is a tricky game because you're right. If the Seahawks lose this, then number 1 in the conference is still going to be theirs, right? Let me just grab this here quickly. Sorry, all these fucking pages of notes. The playoff picture here. So we have the Seahawks sitting here 12-3. And the only teams that can get there, yeah. Wow. That's wild. So it's an issue.
Yeah.
The Niners will win the tiebreak over the Rams. The Seahawks, want to make it simple and win out.
But if the Seahawks just win in Week 18, they win the division
and win the number 1 seed. Tell you why, they win the number 1
Week
seed.
18.
Yeah. Seahawks will still win the number 1 seed, right?
I think so.
Okay. Birdie says has no bearing for him. He is on the Seahawks. I think it should have some bearing. I think that the Panthers completely understand the situation.
I mean, I think that this is saying that the situational aspect, the playoff looming it would favor the Panthers then. I probably not bet this game. I don't know, man. It's tough.
Okay, well, let's just go over one final spot on these the playoff scenarios here for the Seattle Seahawks, because the Panthers, they don't have to do anything. So the Seahawks are, of course, took over first place. They're 12-3. They have the best record in the NFC. So they control their own destiny. Winning out is the only guaranteed path to NFC title and the number 1 seed, but they can clinch the division in week 17. They would clinch the NFC West with a win and a Rams loss or tie against the Falcons, as well as a 49ers loss or tie against the Bears. The Seahawks would clinch the division with a win or tie and the Rams loss and 49ers loss. There's one path to clinching the number 1 seed. They would need to beat Carolina and the Rams lose and 49ers and Bears tie. Okay, that's not going to happen. So all they need for the number 1 seed is the Rams aren't going to lose. So, yeah, no, the Seahawks have to keep winning to make it easier. Okay. But the Rams, I will go into it more. We'll go into it more. But the Panthers, they don't have to win. I think the Seahawks take care of business. Let's roll on here. Roll on. And Birdie says Seattle has the only true motivation in the game. I agree with that. All right, let's roll on. We head to 4:05 p.m. Eastern. We have the New York Giants, 2-13, 0-8 on the road. Las Vegas Raiders, 2-13, 1-6 home. Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. So this was the one bet I almost made. And I did not come in with any action. It was, again, just preparing properly for the game or properly for the show was difficult. But the Giants look done, completely done. Like the players have tuned out Kafka. They don't care about him. And the Raiders are showing some heart here. And we've had the Raiders go from dog to favorite. And I almost moved on the Raiders. But then I stopped myself and I was like, you know what? I should sit with this and talk it out with everybody, not just jump on the Raiders because they look good against the Texans and showed some life compared to a Giants team that's showing no life. And so I didn't think the line would have moved too drastically. And so this was the only one I haven't bet. This total opened up at 43. Look ahead. Went down to 42.5, then reemerged at 42. We're sitting here at a 42 right now. No movement. It hasn't moved a cent since it reemerged. From a line history standpoint, we have a 1.5. 1.5. This look ahead was plus 2.5, and it got to plus 3. Could have the Raiders plus 3. Then it reemerges at plus 1.5, and it takes 7 hours to get to 1. It takes 8 hours after that to become a favorite, and now they're minus 1.5. I do see a 2 at a couple books. I also see a minus 1 at a couple books. Now that minus 1's at minus 115. Interestingly enough, though, this was a 1.5 at this very sharp book, and it moved back to 1. That makes me happy that I didn't move on it already. When we get to the cash flow, 57% of the tickets and 79% of the cash are on the Giants. All the legal American books are holding the 1.5 on Vegas. 50-50 on the ticket count, but 81% of cash on the under. So let's start with these New York Giants. They host the Cowboys in Week 18. Passing offense ranked 23rd. Rushing offense ranked 10th. Red zone offense ranked 28th. They score touchdowns 46.9% of the time. Third down offense ranked 18th. They convert 38.6% of the time. Birdie says this is the best spot on the card this week, in his opinion, unload on the Raiders. It was the one that stood out to me the most. But again, I'm obviously dealing with a bit of a recency bias from last week. That's the only reason why I didn't come to the show with a bet. Their rush defense for the Giants is the worst in the league. Genty went off last week, and Carroll loves them. Pass defense ranked 26th. The red zone defense ranked 28th. This is as I said, the Giants have the worst rush defense in the NFL. Third down defense ranked 21st. Pass rush ranked 13th. But the Giants are dealing with a ton of injuries, and we'll go over them. Giants coming off an ugly 16-13 loss at home to the Vikings. Noise canceled score was 12-9 Vikings. Giants have lost 9 straight. They've lost 5 straight since Kafka took over. They've not won since October 9th. Dart did not attempt a pass until a minute and 44 seconds left in the second quarter. 7 of 13 for 33 yards and 5 in his 5th career interception. Giants were held to 141 yards, 2.9 per play. 3 of 13 on 3rd and 4th down, held to 0 of 3 in the red zone. Now they're going to find this defense different than the Vikings defense, obviously. Flores has got that defense humming. The defense allowed the Vikings to go 8 of 13 on 3rd and 4th down, but just 1 of 3 in the red zone. The offensive line was terrible. McCarthy and Brosmer got sacked 5 times, took 6 hits, and Andrew Thomas limped off the field in the second quarter because of a hamstring injury. We know what Andrew Thomas likes to do, sit on the sidelines. I don't think he comes back. John Michael Schmitz hurt his right hand in the third quarter. So they could be going to this game without their center and their star left tackle. Cornerback Cardale Flott left with a knee injury. They're all listed as questionable. Guard John Runyon is inactive. He's listed as questionable. Evan Neal, offense tackle Evan Neal, was placed on the IR before the game, as was linebacker Kayvon Thibodeau. So let's talk about these Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders host the Chiefs next. Their passing offense ranked 28th. Rushing offense ranked 30th. Red zone offense ranked 24th. Third down offense ranked 26th. It's an ugly offense. But we've seen it often. The quarterback who's not playing well gets to sit on the sidelines and watch quarterback play even worse than him. This almost always works. Worked for J.J. McCarthy when you watch Max Brosmer throw 4 picks, came back and played well. Worked for Geno Smith as well. This is the worst pass defense in the NFL. Why did Dart not throw a pass until a minute 44 left in the second quarter? We have the 29th ranked rush defense, 21st ranked red zone defense. This is the worst third down defense in the NFL. They allow conversions 47.5% of the time. And their pass rush is ranked 25th. Raiders showed some heart in their 23-21 loss to the Texans. Noise cancel scores 18-16 Raiders. Outgained the Texans 315-270. 315 yards of offense for the Raiders. Broke a streak of 6 straight games with less than 70 points and fewer than 275 yards. That's the longest streak since Cleveland Browns in 2008. Raiders offense put up 5.9 yards per play. Geno Smith came back, went 16-23 for 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Ashton Genty ran 24 times for 128 yards, touchdown, caught a 60-yard touchdown pass. So he joined Kamara in 2017. McCaffrey in 2017 is the only rookie running back since 1970 to have 5 receiving touchdowns. 188 yards from scrimmage are the second most by a rookie in franchise history behind Bo Jackson, 1987 against Seattle. Put up 235. Offensive line held a dangerous Texans pass rush to just 3 sacks and only 2 quarterback hits. 6 of 14 on third down, 101 in the red zone. Held the Texans to just 4.4 yards per play. Held them to 7-15 on third down, 1 and 2 in the red zone. Pass rush was quiet with 0 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Lockett left the game with a wrist injury. He's listed as questionable this week. And then Jordan Meredith was placed on IR. It's kind of a weird situation. He hasn't played since week 14, so it's not like they're losing their center. But there was question marks about what that was going on with him, so that kind of explains that. He's now placed on IR. Take it away for us here, Troy, Torrance, Vikings. Excuse me. God, tripping. Giants, Raiders.
I thought you were going to say gigantic game we have here between the Raiders and the Giants. So I would say that I will be on the Raiders. Do we think this is heading to 2.5? If that's the case, that would put them in an incredible spot, historically speaking. I also think that the under is definitely in play in this spot. Looking at what the Giants offense, the output that they just had was so pitiful. I know it's the Raiders defense. They were playing the Vikings defense, and I trust that I was on the under in big ways because I trusted Flores to be able to confuse this guy. I just look at this game. 2 teams that are 2-13. Is this for the first overall draft pick? You know, like, do both teams want to lose this game? And if that's the case, I feel like under would be the best play in this game. I have not moved on it yet. I have not made any bets in this game, but I would only be probably looking towards the under or the Raiders at 2.5. The Raiders were almost in the same exact spot last year against the Jaguars. They opened +1. They closed -2.5. The total was 41.5. They won 19-14.
Dougie Wise agreeing with the under. Sports scientist Jacob got the 43.5 on that, the look ahead. The reason why I didn't bet the Raiders is because it just felt too easy. It just felt too easy. And it was, of course, predicated on what we saw last week. That's all. Peanut says Raiders are playing for their jobs. Coaches too. Says Kafka knows he's out the door after this year. So the only thing, can anybody explain why Dart didn't throw his first pass until there was 1:44 left in the second quarter in their loss at home in front of their home fans to the Vikings? Wouldn't you say that, well, they're tanking?
Yes. Yes, it clearly looked like a tank job, but it also, I mean, Dart did not look good at all in those dropbacks either. So,
TJ saying that Raiders will get bet because of recency bias. Story of the NFL. Football's not like baseball for me. The most glaring bet is not a negative ROI spot. It wasn't before I was looking at the market as intensely as we were. My very first year down at in Costa Rica, I got off to a bad start, but then I hit 8 best bets in a row, 8 weeks in a row, and they were just the most glaring bet. I wasn't being sharp, nothing like that. I was just a glaring. So I just wanted to talk it out, and I don't know how. Everybody isn't on the Raiders after what they saw from the Giants last week, and that's the only reason why I didn't bet it. And so I've got 57% of the tickets and 79% of cash on the Giants. What does Action have?
The Action Network has on the total or on the side.
Side.
I'm going to look at money line price. 35% of bets on the Raiders, 84% of cash on the Raiders. And the spread is 46-54. It's basically 50-50.
God, I don't know. I mean, no, Dart's definitely in. I'm certainly not going to hammer it or anything like that. This would just. So you're talking about you like the under better than the side at this point?
Yeah, I think I do like the under better than the side. It's just I just don't love anything in this game. It's hard to. I just don't know what to expect fully.
Mm-hmm. No, TJ, that's all good. You don't care about the cash or tickets on Tuesday. It helps me out, and we don't need to take the same route. I just think sports gambling is about info, and I want to know where the cash is on Tuesday because that's the sharper action. It's not the rec bettors that are making sure their action's in by Tuesday at 8 p.m. I understand that there's limits involved in all this, but I'd rather have more information than less information. So I do want to know, and I've been really consistent over the last 2 years. If anybody's been following me, I'm sitting at a 5% ROI over 500 NFL games. Okay. I want the Raiders. I think it just makes sense. It just feels a little too easy. And nothing's really changed here. Something just doesn't feel right. And I guess that's what happens when you're talking about 2-13 football teams. Let's roll on. 4:25 p.m. Eastern with the Philadelphia Eagles 10-5, 5-3 on the road at the Buffalo Bills 11-4, 6-1 at home at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Just very quickly on that game we just talked about, one of the things you need for an under to have the confidence in the under is the teams have to care. The Vikings and Flores, their defense cared. The Raiders cared about playing the Texans. When these two terrible football teams play against each other, are you certain that that the defense are going to care? I don't know, because defense takes caring. Okay, let's go back. We move on to 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Eagles 10-5, 5-3 on the road at the Buffalo Bills 11-4, 6-1 at home. Highmark Stadium, Orchard Park, New York. We have 35 Fahrenheit rain and snow and 21 mile per hour winds. Heavy winds. These are, obviously the weather's changing, but heavy winds are expected. And the total has dropped because of it. We had the opener at 46, dropped all the way down to 43.5. We're at 43.5. From a point spread standpoint here, and I'm not going to be on the over in that Giants Raiders game. I get that. I just don't know if they care enough. The Bills here, look ahead was -3, closed right there. No movement. Reemerges at -2.5, goes down to 2, and now -1.5. We have a line move towards the Philadelphia Eagles. Take a look at the cash flow here. cash flow wise, we have 53% of the tickets, 63% of the cash on the Buffalo Bills. 66% of tickets are on the over, but 77% cash is on the under. The lowest total here of all of the legal American books is at Circa and at South Point. This should have probably been bet already. The Eagles host the Commanders on deck. They've clinched their second straight NFC East crown. Their passing offense ranked 9th, rushing offense 12th. This is the best red zone offense in the NFL, been all year. 71.8% of the time they're scoring touchdowns. Third down offense ranked 24th, though. They only convert 37.7% of the time. Pass defense ranked 13th, rush defense 17th. Fourth best red zone defense in the NFL. They allow touchdowns 50% of the time. Third down defense ranked 18th. They allow conversions 39.8% of the time. And this pass rush is ranked 6th. We have the Eagles coming off a 29-18 victory at the Commanders. They're the first team to top the NFC East in back-to-back seasons since the Eagles did it every year from 2001 to 2004. That gap since then was the longest drought without a repeat champ for any division in NFL history. Noise canceled score is 29-16 Eagles. One-day rest advantage on the Bills. Outgained the Commanders 385-220. Jalen Hurts was 22 of 30 for 185, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He also ran 7 times for 40. A.J. Brown caught 9 for 95. Saquon Barkley ran 21 times for 132 yards and a touchdown to give him 1,000 on the season. It's interesting that he's got to 1,000 because everyone's talking about what a bad season he's had. As a team, the Eagles ran 34 times for 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. They were 4 of 9 on third down. And, of course, the number one red zone offense in the league did what it does. Perfect. 3-4-3 down here. TJ saying Allen was on a hurt foot, showed up in the second half of the Cleveland game. Yeah, he says that he's comfortable, he's fine with the foot injury, but he did say it slowed him down. Goddard, 10 touchdown receptions this season, tied a franchise record for Philadelphia tight ends. That first time anyone got to 10 touchdowns tight end for Eagles was like early 1960s. The defense held the Commanders to just 4.3 yards per play, held them in 2 of 10 on third down, did allow them to go 2 of 3 in the red zone. Pass rush was quiet with 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Cooper DeJean had a pick. Jake Elliott missed 3 field goal attempts wide left. Jesus, he hadn't missed more than 1 in the game this season. Nakobe Dean left in the first quarter. He's listed as questionable. It's a hamstring injury. And then Jalen Carter, defensive tackle Jalen Carter, offensive tackle Lane Johnson, and tight end Cameron Latu were all inactive and are listed as questionable this week. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. They host the Jets next week. Passing offense 6th, rushing offense 4th, red zone offense 7th, third down offense 4th. We know their offense is excellent. Pass defense ranked 17th, rush defense 28th, red zone defense 19th, third down defense 27th. Their pass rush is 7th. Bills coming off an underwhelming 23-20 victory at the Browns. Noise canceled score is 24-19 Bills. The Browns outgained the Bills 294-259. Also, it was the 7th straight game, which is wild. Which is, how much money is everybody been making off this? But 7th straight game which the Bills allowed the opponent to open the scoring. 7 straight games. McDermott's talking about it now, so maybe that will change. Josh Allen was 12 of 19 for 130 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. It was the 3rd time this season he didn't have a rushing or passing touchdown. He ran 7 times for just 17 yards, and like TJ saying, had the foot injury in the second half. The RBO2 says hammer the under. Hammer it. Says the 44 number being crossed is the deal breaker. We have the 9th 100-yard rushing game of the season for James Cook that ties Thomas, for second in franchise history. O.J. Simpson holds a single season mark with 11. So he ran 16 times for 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, caught a 17-yard pass. He's rolling. 1,532 yards. He leads the NFL. Bills were 2 of 10 on third and fourth down, but went 2 of 3 in the red zone. The defense allowed the Browns to go 8 of 14 on third down. It's a problem. Browns dominated time of possession, 35-23 to 24-37. Garrett only had 1 pressure and 22 pass rushes against the Bills offensive line. It was Deion Dawkins. What a beast he is. Held him to 1 pressure and 18 pass rushes. And this pass rush had 3 sacks and 11 quarterback hits led by Greg Rousseau. He had a season high 2.5 sacks, 9 pressures. Second time in his 5-year career that he had at least 2.5 sacks. Poyer and Daquan Jones had interceptions. And Shaq Thompson, very important linebacker, was injured in the first quarter and did not return with a neck injury. We will see. Take it away here for us. And yes, Troy, this game does not mean anything to the Philadelphia Eagles.
That sucks because now we have a market that doesn't match the situational aspect of this. The X's and O's are really tough to decipher too. It's crazy that I'm going to be so short-winded on such a great game, but I just don't see any type of I'm just so confused. The Bills opened 2.5, 3, and now we're looking at a 1.5. The cash flow is pretty split in this spot, which makes a ton of sense. The Eagles have nothing to play for. Why is the line moving towards the Eagles?
The
Bills
seeding,
defense.
I think I gave you a wrong idea because the Bears have the Niners on deck. So if the Eagles are 10-5, so they can get to 12-5.
They could get the 2 seed.
They can get the 2 seed.
But that would, I mean, but I guess that matters to some extent, but like, it's not something that I feel like it's something you're going to get up for in the locker room.
No.
Especially this Eagles.
No, you're right. But the Bears have the 49ers and the game at home versus the Lions on deck. So it is a tougher schedule. But sorry, keep rolling. I just want to make sure that, yeah, keep rolling.
Yeah, I don't know. This is just really tough spot because, like in theory, this Bills defense cannot stop the run. I know the Eagles have been struggling to run the football, but this Bills defense has been incompetent. To be just frank about it, I don't know. This is a game I'm not gonna. I doubt I'll have a bet in this game. I mean, it would have to be the Bills for me, and that disagrees with the market. So I really don't know what I'm gonna do with the spot.
Yeah, the Bills are coming off of a tough road game in tough conditions. The Eagles are coming off very easy victory at the Commanders. And the Bills are banged up. And yes, both TJ and Brady talking about in the conference round. I mean, if you're the 2 seed, then you'd need, you would need the number 1 seed to. If the number 1 seed has any issues, then you get to host.
TJ, that's so true, bro. That's got to be what this is. This is telling me that Josh Allen is not 100%. I think that's what this line movement in this market is telling us.
TJ says that they don't want to make it sound bad, but he's going to be all over his rushing under yards.
I like that. I'm going to make a note on that.
And he says 100% he is on the Eagles.
Yeah. I want to be on the Eagles too. I do. I want to be on the Eagles. I just.
And the RBO2 says supports the under even more. Oh, it's clearly the play. Clearly the play. The under.
What's the weather like in this one, Jim?
Horrible. It's 35 Fahrenheit, rain and snow, 21 mile per hour winds. Now that was as of last night. So it's been now almost 24 hours since I've done it. So let's take another look. It's warm. That Sunday's warming up everywhere, which is a shock. So it is at this time now, it's going to be straight rain showers, not snow. And the wind is going to be 18 miles per hour. It's also, the rain's going to lighten up. It's going to be heavier at the beginning of the game. Now, again, this will change. Mozenia saying Allen's rushing line is 33.5 yards. Wow. This is interesting. And the Bills,
you remember Justin Herbert had a massive impact with his legs against the Eagles.
And the Bills get a gimme to end the year. They host the Jets. Harold Williams is on the Bills. All right, let's Bills and the over for Birdie. No, Donut Silks. They host the Jets next. Okay, let's roll on, but the under should be bet. I think the under should be bet, even at 43. The only issue is, we didn't get a chance. I could have hit that look ahead, but that's fine. I still think it should be bet. 43.5. It's going to keep dropping. Could have got a 45 just on Sunday night. It was moved to 43.5. So it's been sitting at 43.5 for some time now. I think it should be bet. All right. Unders. The only concern would be if the Eagles run up the score and the Bills let go.
I'm thinking Bills team total under. The only good defense this team has seen.
Wonder why Birdie's on the over. I guess because he doesn't believe in. He must not believe in the. Because he's on the Bills as well. So Bills do what they need to do to get the win, and their defense is so weak that they allow points.
I mean, the Bills at home with the market moving towards the under, in this type of price range between a field goal, 2-0 straight up, 2-0 to the over, 68 points, 81 points, but both those totals were over 50.
Rain. It's not even going to be snowing anymore. It's going to be rain and heavy wind.
We don't want the snover. How about the Bills at home with a total under 44? Yeah, this is going to be tough, man. Now that starts showing more love for the under. 4-2 to the under. 2-4 ATS, 6-0 straight up. These spreads are massive. Usually this is a spread paired with this low total paired with the Bills at home is massive spreads.
And Myron says Bills don't need Allen to run a lot. Cook can run the balls. Eagles can be had on the ground, and they can be. The Eagles' rush defense is ranked 17th right now. It's not been good. All right, I want unders. I love if we could have kept Birdie around for a little bit longer. Love to hear why he's on the over. Let's roll on to our Sunday nighter. Join us for our live stream right here on Pub Sports Radio, 8:20 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bears 11-4, 5-3 on the road. San Francisco 49ers 10-4, 4-2 at home. Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. 44 Fahrenheit clear, 1 mile per hour winds. Let's get into the line history here for this. This is going to be a fun one. God, 49ers playing so well. We have a total at 52.5. Good God. Look at what's 50.5. Got up to 51. Reemerged at 50. Now we're at 52.5. Look, I know that the 49ers, the defense is, and their defense is not good. I mean, we don't need to say bad, but just say not good. And their offense is what? Number 1 in the NFL right now? I mean, it's just unstoppable right now. It's just unbelievable what Shanny is doing. The look ahead was a -3 for the Niners. It got to 2.5. It closed at 2.5, reemerged at 2.5, and it's now a 3 with the 49ers at home. I'm in just a state of shock watching this football team, my football team, step up the way they are. Dougie Wise bought down the 2.5. That's the free bands play of the day. Jeff is on the Bears money line. Let's get into the cash flow here for our Sunday nighter Bears Niners. We have 94% of tickets on the over and 88% of cash. The Bears are not an over football team. Aren't they taking what happened last night a little too closely? 61% of tickets on the Niners and 75% of cash on the Niners. Let's talk about the Bears. They host the Lions next. We'll see if that game means anything. Passing offense, 16th. Rushing offense, 3rd. Red zone offense, 16th. Scoring touchdowns, 58.8% of the time. Third down offense, 6th. They convert 42.7% of the time. Pass defense for the Bears, 18th. Rush defense, 19th. Red zone defense, 9th. Third down defense, 13th. Pass rush, 26th. Bears coming off an impressive 22-16 comeback victory at home over the Packers. Noise cancel score is much different. 31-26 Packers. After the Steelers beat the Lions, the Bears clinched the playoffs. Chicago's won 6 games this year, trailing in the final 2 minutes. Unbelievable. And this one was unbelievable. Green Bay had a win probability at 99%. Santos kicked a 43-yard field goal, got Chicago within 16-9. Then onside kick, Blackwell recovers it. Bears tied up with 24 seconds left. Williams found Ja'Day Walker. Then I love that Johnson chose to kick it. I love it. Why risk it on one play when you have the momentum? You have them right where you want them. I mean, you're at home. There's no panic. I loved that he kicked it. Caleb Williams is 19 of 34 for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also ran 3 times for 30 yards. DJ Moore led receivers with 5 catches for 97 yards, touchdown. As a team, the Bears ran 26 times for 150 yards. Packers dominated time of possession, 38-57 to 26-13. The Bears were held to 2 of 11 on third down, 1 of 2 in the red zone. Bears allowed the Packers to go 6 of 12 on third down, but stepped up heavy in the red zone. They held the Packers to 0 for 5 in the red zone, and now their red zone defense is ranked 9th in the league. Very, very impressive. The CJ Gardner-Johnson, though, left in the fourth quarter with a knee injury. We want to know what's up with him. Wide receivers Rome Odunze and Luther Burden were inactive. They're listed as questionable this week. Let's talk about these 49ers. God, I mean, so easy to be a fan of this football team with what they've done with Fred Warner and Bosa gone. No Ayuk, no problem. They host the Seahawks next, which could be a massive game. Passing offense ranked 5th. Rushing offense ranked 29th. Red zone offense ranked 8th. This is the second best third down offense in the NFL. They convert 50% of the time. Defense is a problem. Pass defense ranked 20th. Rush defense 26th. Red zone defense 18th. Third down defense 15th. Pass rush 27th. Coming off a short week, too. After a wild 48-27 victory at the Colts on Monday Night Football. Noise canceled scores 32-23 49ers. San Francisco's won 5 straight. So they're in business for both the NFC West and the top seed. They outgained the Colts 440 to 312, put up 6.7 yards per play. Didn't punt for the second straight week. So, you know, it's a funny stat. It's not real because they did have the late bye. They haven't punted in December. Insane. Purdy was 25 of 34 for 295. Career at 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Wasn't his fault. Kittle caught 7 for 115 touchdown. He looks like a beast. McCaffrey ran 21 times for 117 yards, caught 6 for 29, 2 touchdowns. 8 of 12 on third and fourth down, 4 of 6 in the red zone. The offensive line only let the Colts hit Purdy 1 time. The defense held the Colts to 6 of 11 on third and fourth down, but let them go 2 of 2 in the red zone. Pass rush was quiet, but that's, you know, what they are. 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. And yes, Kittle injured his ankle in the third quarter. And Bethune hurt his right ankle late in the third quarter. These are crucial injury report that, you know, we need to go over. We get the better idea on Wednesday. I'll see if I can grab any information on it right now. Take it away for us here, Troy Torrance. You know, Doug White says the Bears are a different team on the road. They are 5-3 on the road, though. Take it away.
So I bet the Bears on the look ahead with anticipation that the Colts might be able to sneak out a win last night. You knew I was bullish on the Colts. So, you know, I saw the 3 at -120. I was like, you know, man, if the Colts look good and if they cover the spread, this is going to definitely close below the 3 or reopen below the 3. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition. So I'm stuck here with the Bears +3. And I do think that there is some chance that this goes to 3.5 by game time because we know the history of this 49ers team at primetime on primetime at home. I mean, they've been extremely good at winning and covering spreads. And the 49ers, we know this. This is a tale of 2 different teams. The defense is amongst the worst in the league. They can still be effective against lower grade offenses. But clearly, when they're confronted with quality, they fold. The offense is among the best in the league. No doubt about it. Shanahan has Purdy drinking the Kool-Aid or whatever he's doing. The offensive line has been surprisingly good, especially in the run game and on the play action. And legitimizing their offense with the performance they put together. You know, I just think back to the Rams game and how structured that offense was. So that's where the 49ers are. Terrible defense, fantastic offense. And the Bears, on the other hand, are coming off a game where they were dead to right, a spot where we'd want to fade this team moving forward. And you talked about it. I mean, this is a team that continues to win on buzzer beaters, the last play of the games. And it's just, my handicap has not really changed on this Bears team, even after that last game. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, this is an elite tandem. The progression, the spatial awareness that Caleb Williams is showing, the ability to adopt the scheme and be okay to be second in command behind Ben Johnson. The offensive line is dominating in the trenches on a weekly basis, and they're going to dominate this defensive line. It's one of the offenses in the NFL where, you know, if they're down 1 or 2 scores late in the game, we've seen it all season, they're always live to win the game. It's the first time the Bears fans have seen this in Chicago in my lifetime for sure. The defense is where we really want to handicap this game because I feel like we know what the 49ers offense and defense is. We know the Bears offense is good. The Bears defense is still trying to figure out what they are, I feel like, especially as they get healthier and their personnel starts coming back. You look at what they did, like Willis, 142 passer rating, 11 yards per attempt. He was pressured on 53% of his dropbacks with only a 10% blitz rate. That shocked me when I seen that number. And now, you could definitely, take some of those pressures off, because some of those pressures were driven by Willis holding onto the ball a little bit too long. But still, I mean, they were able to get pressure on him. And that Willis performed way better than Love did. Love was 78 passer rating, 5.9 yards per attempt. Now Love in the first matchup in Green Bay, 120 passer rating. He was pressured on 34% of his dropbacks, and they blitzed him 46% of the time. So what I see when I look at the difference between Love and the Packers in game 1 versus game 2, there's a complete change of scheme, a complete change. So I feel like Dennis Allen, we see this all the time. Like, you don't know if you're getting man, you don't know if you're getting zone coverage. You look at all the pressure rates and the blitz rates, you could tell one thing. The defense is lacking in the most important category when it comes to defensive football, and that's a pass rush. And I feel like that puts a really low ceiling over their head. If you can't generate a pass rush, you're not going to be successful long-term defensively. And Dennis Allen is clearly, like, you could tell by the way he comes out and plays all man to all zone. He's blitzing, he's zone blitzing, he's man blitzing. I feel like he's still trying to figure it out, what he wants to do with this team. But you cannot play man coverage with no pass rush. And I feel like that's one thing that we know now. He's not going to play man coverage at the highest rates in the NFL, because they were top 10 rate up until the last. I think they're 9th right now in terms of man coverage rate, and that's dropped from top 5 over the past few weeks. And we've seen a clear shift to a bend but don't break style of defense over the past few weeks. Play loose zone coverage with aggressive wrinkles, maybe playing a hard flat, or maybe playing a man on the backside of on the wide side of the field on the X or Z receiver. And that play loose, add some aggressive wrinkles, try to generate turnover, splash plays. They're top 10 in score, in terms of red zone scoring percentage allowed. It's just hard to make a case for this Bears defense in this matchup. I totally get it. Can the Bears play man coverage? Because Brock Purdy is significantly worse. Significantly worse. He goes from a top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback in NFL passer rating to a bottom 5 quarterback in NFL passer rating versus man or zone coverage. The only man coverage team he's seen this season was the Browns, and that's not a comparable defense, right? The Browns defense is significantly better than the Bears. So yeah, both offenses in good forms, both defenses that are below average. The spread, in my opinion, makes a ton of sense. I feel like it's an extremely sharp number. I feel like we're going to close 3.25. The 49ers offense, this is back to the conversation we were having with the Texans and the Chargers. The 49ers offense is slightly better than the Bears offense. Better than the Bears offense. Maybe not slightly better, depending on how you want to measure it. The Bears defense is slightly better than the 49ers defense, but the 49ers home field prime time advantage is real. So you got to give them a few more points, a few more notches for the 49ers on both sides of the ball. And we're looking at a clean 3. I feel like that makes complete sense. I feel like the number is extremely sharp. There's a high probability this lands on 3. And I feel like the back door at 3.5 is going to be open in perpetuity. The number's tight. I bet the look ahead Bears -3. I got -120 on that. And I might be interested in buying the Bears plus 3.5. I'm not sold on this spot. I might just end it there.
So the look ahead is the +3.
Yes,
Yeah,
Bears
so,
+3, correct.
+3 -120. Okay, let's talk about the Bears. They have not played. Now, of course, we know we're in San Francisco. I'm just setting some stuff up here. The Bears have not gone over this total at home all year, not one time. On the road, though, 52-21 at Detroit, second game of the year, went over this total. They went over this total again at Cincinnati, 47-42. And then they went over this total.
In Las Vegas.
They did at home. Sorry, at Pittsburgh. That one time at home. I take that back. Sorry. So one time at home against Pittsburgh and 2 times on the road, they've gone over this total. They've gone over this total 3 times this year. So I guess Cincinnati is a fair comparison to what the 49ers are right now. I know the 49ers are a much better football team. Don't get me wrong. But the 49ers and the Bengals both have a great quarterback. They have questionable defense.
Well, they had
What?
Flacco in that game, Jim.
Oh, you're right. They had Flacco. That is not a good example.
But it was a good example from the total aspect. That was the only total that was over 50. They played in the past. The entire Bears history here, they have one that was 52.5.
This is too high of a total for the Chicago Bears. If the Bears are going to be in this football game, it's not going to be 60 points won't be scored. Now, I could be wrong, of course. This could end up 30-27 Niners or whatever. But this is just not the way the Bears are playing football right now. Do you think that is always predicated with the opponent? The first time they played Green Bay, 49 points were scored, it soared over. Second time at home, it goes way under. They've allowed 19 points in their last 2 games, but they both come at home. In their last 3 road games, including the 28 that they allowed in Green Bay, it's just 15 against Philadelphia, 17 against Minnesota. I mean, I just
and you look at the only 2 primetime games the 49ers have played this season at home. The market was moving towards the over. Both games went under. Panthers game.
You believe the Bears are going to be right in this football game, which is a very fair and legitimate thought process. If that's the thought process, I don't think this
close game would mean under. If the Bears are going to be winning the football game, then it certainly means under, in my opinion.
It's the coldest game of the year in San Francisco. Not that that's a big deal. It's only 44 Fahrenheit. There's no wind at all, so it's really nice conditions. This total is just insanely high. And why is it? Because of what the 49ers just did. I mean, the Titans game went over too. That was their first game out of the bye. Now, let's say you did not bet the look ahead, Troy. Honestly, would you be on the Bears right now, or would you want to wait? What if you had no bet on this game, put a line through the look ahead, would you want the Bears? Because the 49ers their offense looks absolutely incredible. The Bears defense has been getting better week by week, but the statistical profile is still pretty weak.
Yeah, it's weak. It's weak, but it's significantly better than the 49ers defense.
Significantly.
I think that's what I think. I don't know, man. I don't know. I probably wouldn't be on the Bears because I don't want to buy a team extremely high at a 3. That's not part of my formula for success. I don't like this 3. I don't like betting 3s. I just thought that this would reopen below the 3.
Dougie Wise saying the Niners defense plays far better at home. Birdie talking about the extra rest. Bears on extra rest. 49ers on short rest.
I mean, if the 49ers allow 24 to the Titans at the house. Yeah, but then you look at the Panthers, the Falcons.
That was a strange game. They were in complete control. There was no concern. That Carolina game was much, low scoring. The Rams game, the Rams were an angry group. We haven't seen the Niners at home very often. The statistical profile is based on the road games. I think it's way too high of a total. Do you think it keeps climbing? Should I wait? I guess I should wait. There's no sign that it's hit the end of it. So
yeah, right. You're just looking at 51 and 54 now. That's it. I don't mind an under this game. I don't mind an under, but when I start seeing 54 and higher, I don't want it anymore.
No, it's not. Those totals have gone over. Yeah, I get it. All right. And Birdie talking about the Kittle status being very important. Again, it's that Wednesday injury report that will, tell the tale. Let's just take one last, see if we can get one more George Kittle look. And then we got one game left before we put a bow on it. And yeah, mid to low ankle sprain. He says he got hurt on a hip drop tackle. He doesn't think it's a high ankle sprain. He's not going to he avoids the high ankle sprain. I mean, when you have the Seahawks coming next week, would you risk it with them? Tungus is great, no doubt, Vincent Hawkins. But did you see what Kittle did last week? He was spectacular. All right, let's roll. Let's roll. I want unders, and you know what? I don't think it's going to go any higher. At this point, I think that it's too high, and I'll start going down. But I know that anybody who hasn't studied Kahneman is going to be wanting the over in this football game because all they're going to be thinking about is the 49ers. And I want to just take one last look at these legal sports books and then we'll move on. Sorry it's taking so long, but yeah, they're all just sitting here at 52.5. 90% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the over at Circa. God. All right. I was saying it looked like exactly like a high ankle sprain on the cut. He pulled up short. I don't think, obviously it's a problem. The ankle's a problem. I want unders, and I think it's fine to bet them now, which I probably will do at the end of the show. All right, let's roll on to our final spot on the board. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Week 17, Bankroll Blitz, Season 3, our Monday nighter, the last football game of 2025. 8:15 p.m. Eastern. The Los Angeles Rams 11-4, 5-3 on the road at the Atlanta Falcons 6-9, 2-4 at home. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Birdie says his fare in that game is 48. It's wild. Let's get into the line history here for our Monday nighter. This total is a 50. Look ahead was 48.5, reemerged to 49s, climbed the point to 50. Let's get to the point spread here from a point spread standpoint. We have this one sitting with the Rams anywhere between 8 and 8.5. I'm looking at a 9 right now, but it's not real. It's plus 105 for the Rams. Probably more of an 8.5. The look ahead was an 8, and it got bet down to 7.5. Reemerged at an 8. That's where we stand right now. I see some books at 9. Some books at a real 9. Sharp books are at a real 9, but a lot of the books are at 8. Let's see what the legal books are doing here. They've got this at they're kind of all over. They got 8s, mostly 8s, but there's a couple 8.5s, and there's still a 7.5. Wow, interesting. Okay, we have 90% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the LA Rams. Wow. Doug West saying every dollar on the Rams. Luke Burrow interested in Atlanta here. Vincent Hawkins says his Rams bounce back. It's funny to think that they need to bounce back. They put up 581 yards and didn't turn the ball over. I mean, what was the problem was Devontae Adams was not on the field, so they go 3 of 6 in the red zone. And if he was on the field, they would have gone more than 3 of 6 red zone. And that was my whole cap, was that in Seattle, without Devontae Adams, I think the Seahawks win 56% of the time.
No, it was the punt return. I mean, they needed the Seahawks are not alone.
I mean, would it be nice if the 4th-ranked red zone offense wasn't at 50% because they didn't have their best red zone threat? I mean, you can say that we know that the Rams special teams aren't very good and the Seahawks are very good. I mean, that was part of our breakdown. It wouldn't have mattered if the Rams could have scored in the red zone. They had 6 opportunities. But I hear you. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia. Rams have the Cardinals on deck. Number 1 ranked passing offense, 5th ranked rushing offense, 4th ranked red zone offense, 22nd ranked third down offense. Number 1 ranked pass defense, number 1 ranked rush defense. This team is very good. Red zone defense ranked 3rd. They only allow touchdowns 46.8% of the time. Third down defense ranked 8th. They only allow conversions 36% of the time. The 4th ranked pass rush. Coming in off extra rest and prep, that's a big deal to them. They're losing 38-37. At Seattle. Noise cancel score is 40-29 Rams. I don't know if I've ever seen a team put up 581 in NFL, put up 581 yards and not turn the ball over and lose. Stafford was 29-49 for 457 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Puka Nacua caught 12 for 225 and 2 touchdowns. Pass rush, 4 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. 8 of 20 on third down, 2 of 3 on fourth, and like we talked about, 3 of 6 in the red zone. Wallace and Kobe Turner had interceptions. The hamstring injury to Adams is a problem. We talked about it. It's the third time this has happened so far this year. They need to rest him. And Kevin Dotson injured his ankle in the first quarter and did not return, and he's week to week right now. There are some real concerns here. So Havenstein is not coming back. We thought that he might be activated off IR. He's not going to be activated off IR. Dotson is doubtful to play, so there'll be no Havenstein won't be able to replace Dotson. Quentin Lake still on IR. We thought he'd be, designated to return already. Tyler Higbee is not getting activated off IR, so nobody is. So there's no reinforcements here for the Rams. Let's talk about these Falcons playing some good football. Host Saints next. A little late for this winning streak, but passing offense ranked 22nd, rushing offense 9th, red zone offense 5th, 64.4%. Third down offense has been a struggle, 29th. They only convert 33.3% of the time. Their defense has been a problem too. Pass defense ranked 22nd, rush defense 23rd. Red zone defense has been good. They ranked 12th. They only allowed touchdowns 55.6% of the time. Their third down defense has been a problem. It's ranked 29th. They allow conversions 49.7% of the time. Pass rush ranked 14th. Falcons coming off a 26-19 victory at Arizona. Noise canceled scores 25-15 Falcons. Falcons won for the second straight week, both coming on the road. They won 3 of their last 5. They had that 5-game losing streak mid-year to screw everything up. They were in complete control of the game despite being held to just 4.7 yards per play. Kirk Cousins was 21 of 35 for 197 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He also lost a fumble. Bijan Robinson ran 16 times for 79, caught 7 for 92 and a touchdown. 23 years old. He's the third player in franchise history to gain 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Jamal Anderson in 1998. We got to go way back to William Andrews, 81 and 83. 9 and 19 on third and fourth down, but we're a perfect 3 for 3 in the red zone. The defense held the Cardinals to 7 of 13 on third down and 0 of 2 in the red zone. Pass rush had 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. CJ Henderson, who was elevated from the practice squad, had an interception. These guys are playing hard. And he's so pumped up to be getting an opportunity. And he got the opportunity because Mike Hughes was inactive. He's listed as questionable this week. Take it away for us here, Troy, our Monday nighter, Rams, Falcons.
I do think this number has moved a little bit too much. I'm biased kind of when it comes to this Falcons team. I believe in this Falcons team. I don't believe in Raheem Morris necessarily, but I think the Falcons team has underperformed pretty much all season. We've seen glimpses of glory. We've seen them fall apart like they usually do. But they are able to find success, and I feel like this Falcons offense can find success against this Rams defense. I think this total reflects that, right? I think that maybe we overrated the Rams defense at some point this season. I don't have a bet in this game yet, but I am looking heavily towards the Atlanta Falcons. Nines are starting to pop. How far is this line going to go? This is probably the top of the market. There's probably going to be buyback late in the season, non-divisional teams like, between 7 and 9, they cover spreads when the line is moving away from them. And the games go under at a ridiculous clip. Is this a candidate for the under? I don't know. And actually, this is a surprisingly high total for this type of market. I am leaning towards the Falcons. I think they can keep this game close. I feel like their offense will be able to, I don't want to say keep up necessarily. The problem is you have the Rams off a loss in the game they need. So I haven't moved on this spot yet. It's a tricky spot, tricky cap.
A very important point made by Mozenia. So they have the tiebreaker over the Rams based on the winning percentage in division games, which means if the 49ers and the Seahawks win, the Rams will rest players. That's a crucial point by Mozenia. They won't care. It's probably worth betting the Falcons right now with the unit. And if the Bears beat San Francisco and the Rams open up, just kind of say, well, I'm probably going to lose my bet. Because if the Seahawks win, they're 7-point favorites over the Panthers. 49ers are at home on Sunday night against the Bears. Then this will drop way down. You'll be laughing.
I am betting the Falcons.
It's a great point, Mozenia.
Good shit, Mozania.
I think that we should have the Falcons in our pocket right now. Now, Doug White says if Seattle and the Niners both win, hammer the Falcons. No, because the line will have moved. I think there needs to be some investment in the Falcons at this number. Yeah, he's joining. Yeah, that's great stuff. Lucky Power is the Bears to win. If not, it's not if Bears win. Lucky Power. You know, you watching, you've been saturated. And now all the Chicago fans who've had such a rough run for a while. It's great to see you guys getting it. Yeah, Falcons should be bet tonight. Great stuff. Great stuff. Also, though, I guess that's not quite the case, you know, because they'll still. All right. That was difficult breakdown. And next week is even going to be sicker. But then it's regular season's over. And this week is so important to us. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Happy holidays to all of you. Troy Torrence, review your action for week 17 of the NFL with a bounce back week on our radar.
Okay, so I'm kicking it off with the Lions -5.5, -118. I got the Lions -1, Texans +8.5 in a teaser. I got the Chiefs Broncos first half over 18.5 at -110. Got the Ravens +3 at -110. I got the Bucks double results +120. The Jets Pats first half over 20.5. I got 2 overs and no unders on my card. This looks terrible, man.
It's wild.
The Bears +3 -120 and the Falcons +8.5.
All right. Let's review the plan here. I want overs in Cowboys Commanders. The question is, do I want to wait until tomorrow? I've got to sit with this for a little bit longer. Drinking ham, my man, will do, my friend. And please give our love to Braden and your fam. So we'll sit with that. Troy's backing the Lions here. It makes so much sense to me. Getting that 5.5 was nice work. I think that they go full steam ahead. I want to spend a little bit more time on that. Here is the game, though. Broncos Chiefs over. God, I don't want to have 4 units on overs. It makes me feel sick. And the 2 would be Broncos first half team total over, full game team total over, first half over, full game over. But I think the Broncos score a lot, and I don't think they're that intense defensively. Maybe what I should do is only bet the first. But again, we saw what happened to the Chiefs defense against the Titans. They got worse and worse as the game went on. Now the Titans were still trying to score. I mean, wouldn't Sean Payton want to beat the Chiefs 47-0, or do you think he'd take his foot off the gas, Troy?
I don't think he'd take his foot off the gas.
The Chargers talk in the Texans game was so interesting, and maybe I get there. But I want that first half under and full game under, and maybe it makes sense to just be on the Chargers as well. I'm going to sit with that a little longer. The Baltimore Ravens here with the 3. God, I mean, I kind of want more information. I'm certainly – so it's interesting that I'm going to study Love more tonight. It's interesting that TJ thinks he's going to play while so many of us are like, come on, 6 days is not enough time for him to come back. But they're 9-5-1 with their season on the line. Huh. So then I'm hammering the Bengals. I've only bet a few really public sides so far this year, very few, and they've been very successful. I almost never bet them. This is such a public side. I think the Cardinals give up and the Bengals have a fun game. It would be best if they didn't have the home game on deck. They host the Browns next, so it's not like, the give back here. The Steelers-Browns game is all about the situation. It's all about what happens in the Ravens game. So it's a little tricky. That means I don't need to bet that tonight. Then the over in the Saints-Titans games, that makes sense to me. That maybe I may move on that tonight. The Jaguars Colts first half over, full game over. I'm not concerned about that one. Then the Bucks game, the Bucks Troy on the Bucks double result. I think that makes sense. I think they play with everything on the line here. So the Bucks, whether that be the double result in the full game, which it may be, it's also the Dolphins team total under. Bucks are going to play like a playoff game. The first half over in Patriots Jets makes sense. Then I can leave that full game over off. The Panthers Seahawks game needs more study. Look, I want to back the Raiders bad. Something just feels like it's too easy, but it feels like the Giants have just given up on Kafka and just want to party in Vegas. The unders and Eagles-Bills games, the Bills game will be bet tonight. And then I want the unders in Chicago, San Francisco. I expect to bet them tonight. And then the Falcons I will bet tonight. And that is our last. No, we have another show in 2026, week 18 on the 30th. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our producer, Jose Bouquet. Thank you to all of you guys, TJ, Luke Burrow, Dougie Wise, Harold, Drinking Hand, Ron Young, Old E, Curtis Berry, Lucky Power, Jared TG, Mozenia, O plus, A-Stead, Mozenia. That was a very, very helpful angle that you talked about there, that, all these games, all this work, some things you let slip, and you leave money on the table. Sasha, Birdie, great to have you back in business. So many of you guys, AOD, so many of you guys support us when we need it and give us confidence when we're questioning ourselves. Boozin, Myron, thank you guys. Jeff, Tiffany, thank you. And Troy, the roller coaster ride that we are on, it doesn't end when the season's over, and it doesn't end with a pickup on week 18 after a bad week 17. The roller coaster ride that you are on, I want to be sitting right beside you in perpetuity, forever and ever. Watching you climb out of these holes is inspiring to all of us. And holes, you're up 43.61 units.
And
your ROI is 10.88%. All it is bouncing off of a bad week. Would you, if you were offered to be hitting 57.1% on 400 bets with 43.61 units and ROI plus 10.88%, wouldn't you say, "Oh yes, I'll take that"?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, man.
Yeah. So keep up the great work. Let's bounce back from a tough week like you always do, and let's get that money. Thank you for all your hard work. Please support Troy on X, Troy Torrence 11. Troy, take us home, my man. Take us home.
God damn it. There's a reason. There's a reason I'm here. It's because I believe in Jimmy the Bag. I believe in Pub Sports Radio, the entire community. Like with Mozenia, the little piece of information just was enough to push me over the edge on a bet that I was getting ready to bet. It's a beautiful community, man. We got a bunch of sharps in the community, and that's why we've been having so much damn success. It's time to bounce back, and there's only one thing left to do in NFL Week 17. Let's go out there and leche los bookmakers.